Listen. Yeah. Yes, Lord. Get that out of there.
Wop, 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 wop. Everybody, we're in a quiet club. No, we're not. Hi, everyone. It's your boy, Matty Rants. Hi, good Sunday. Good afternoon to you. Good morning. Good evening. Hachoo. My allergies are all fucked up. Thank you. I hope everyone's doing just fine. Yes, it's springtime. For those of you with the pollen dandies, as my mama liked to used to say back in the day, you got the pollen dandies, your nose kind of sniffly, baby. Here you go. Well, that's what's happening with your brother right here because the pollen has hit and I'm over it. I am over it. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great day. If you haven't seen my review from this past yesterday, we're not bringing her back. Do me a favor and go watch that review after this and hit that like button as well while you're downstairs. I kind of got emotional during my review over Simone's comments, but we're definitely going to be breaking down some things from this top 4 weirdly unnecessary episode from Drag Race. We're going to do some Drag Race conversations. We're going to go down the road here more than just season 1. We're going to go all the way through a little bit. A couple of things happened this week. We lost somebody special in the hip hop community. We had 2 people in the music industry, one who is perpetually never going to age, release a music video with somebody who's in some controversy or some sort of issue with somebody named Quavo or somebody like that. And then SZA and Doja Cat did the collab I didn't think was necessary, but totally was. So let's get my social medias out the way first, and then I'll bring in my guest today. I'm trying to do this right. Make sure I give y'all the intros they deserve. Let me check this comment section real quick. Hillary Duff. Oh, we're talking about Hillary Duff? No, we're not. Never. Okay, thanks so much for tuning in. It's your boy, Matty Rants. You can catch me here on this channel, this one right here, Matty Rants. You can also find me on Facebook. Don't, because I'm about to get rid of that. Instagram, do, because I'm keeping that. TikTok and Cameo, I am bookable, as well as the Stereo app, where I do some podcasts for you. Yes, with Dooley, with Blake Keisha, when she gets on vacation. Me and C. Diggy got one, and the Matt and Mar show. Busy. And if you would like to find me on Twitter, it's the Matty Rants. Yeah, someone took the other name. Now, if y'all like to donate to the channel, by all means through Super Chat, I'd really appreciate it. And I thank you so much for being here. But the other ways you could do it is via Cash App, $ Matty Rants. It's downstairs below. Hi. Okay. All right, we'll see you. Venmo MattyRants and PayPal.me/Matty Rants. The car I was going to get y'all. I'll tell you the story real quick before we get my guests in. So the car I wanted to get was like this 08 Santa Fe Hyundai. I went to the dealership. He's like, okay, you want to get in the car? Sure. Drove it around the corner. Boop, 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 boop. I helped the man push the car back into the lot. You tried to show me another vehicle. I said no. I was like, I think I'm good. This is not the lot for me. Thank you. I did find another lot that has used cars I can pay cash for that are working vehicles, but I'm going to have to get a little extra for it because the one I wanted was a little cheap and not understand why. It needs engine work. I'm not buying a car to buy engine work. Anywho, that was my week. This is my stress. Now you know. How are you? Are you blessed? Okay, let's go ahead and bring in our people today so we can get in on our today's subjects. On our today's subject, I've been watching too many Amber Lynn Reid videos. My vocabulary is getting all junky. All right, first of all, y'all know him for being the tallest man in the bunch here, always looking above the clouds, possibly for the Toys R Us commercial. A stand-in for the giraffe at our favorite Toys R Us store. Yes, C. Diggy, I'm dragging. Just kidding. It's y'all's favorite fine friend. C. Diggy won.
Hi.
M.
Right.
I can't. I love the shirt. I can't. It's too much.
Thank you.
MTV.
I have a lot of opinions today. So
I bet you do. Yet tan is still sitting there. I'm almost off the color block. I'm almost off the color block sitting next to you now. This is kind of. I need to get a little lighter again.
I'm not complaining. I'm keeping.
Okay, I had to bring out my shoulders out to come compete with you here. I had to bring my shoulders out to compete with you. Some of us were I was blessed with a shelf. Okay, so listen, Chris, where can they find you at on your social medias, friend?
Sorry, I was eating my sangria.
Oh,
I just made this earlier today. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, CDIGGI1. I'm also on Pop Roast on Alexander Rogers' channel. And you can find us on Spotify and Apple if you want to hear our podcast.
fabulous, fabulous. Shout out to my good friend Alexander Diane Rogers. I was on the phone with him a lot this week, just talking, trying to get some stuff together and have our good I miss you, friend. I miss you, friend conversation. So Alexander Rogers will be on the panel soon. Get ready for that one. I'm waiting. I'm kind of waiting for a pose to start before I drop him in. So that way there's a real collection of conversation because I know he don't really care too much for the fracking race of it all. So that's where we have to go.
He does pose though.
He do. And Pose is around the corner, and trust and believe the panel will be there to discuss that trust along with other things that are going to be happening here. Now, we have another somebody as well with a big old titty chest, with a good old spoon in his corner cabinet, always giving you something to eat, something of a little bit of a sweet treat. Top energy down, Aries for those who like to clown. It's Dooley __ noted.
Man, what?
This is your life. I'm just narrating it. This is your life.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you feeling today?
I'm good. I just finished a cycle. I did a 45-minute cycle before.
Oh.
So y'all might see me glistening, but like,
oh, well, we're going to send you one of these. We're going to send you one of these babies, get you right there together. Get you just a little dab will do. Sometimes it lifts off and sometimes it puts on. All right. So Dooley, what are your social media links, friend?
Yes, Twitter _DooleyNoted_. Instagram, Dooley Noted with 2 underscores for personal, and then Dooley Does Food for business, which is also the name of my YouTube channel. Some of the rant pack were in my inbox over the last week, and there were some requests. So some of you asked for a seafood recipe, and I got you, fam. It'll be out this week.
Some of them were requests.
It's requests.
Uh-huh. Okay, rant pack. I'm looking at you. Don't you be harassing nobody in the middle. Okay, I don't need a loss. I don't need a lawsuit. I don't need it. I don't need it. I see you, Yolanda. Thank you, baby. I see you. Hold on, D'Anthony. I'm coming to you. Look at you, Yolanda. Just dropping these coins. Susan, thank you, baby.
Susan.
Hey, D'Anthony. Just to help out with Girl, Trust and Believe. I found 4 of them I like, and they're in reasonable distance of me being able to get there. My friend Jeff with a G who's watching. Hey, Jeff, I'm ready when you are to get out there, friend, as soon as I get these coins. Now, oh my gosh. Like, I'm so happy we have her back here. One of my favorite people in the entire universe, Wilma. I had so much fun the last time. I was like, baby, you're coming back. There is no other way. And I'm doing this and keeping my words as long as possible because she got her mirror still in front of her while I continue to go down this long little thing. Oh, she ready to go? Look at so let me get it. See, listen, legendary. Oh, Canada's favorite queen with reviews. If you haven't seen Auntie Mame, you need to. That's actually my favorite one you reviewed, by the way, Wilma Fingerdoo. Listen, coming to the stage. Look, I gotta do like RuPaul is. Category is Canada's best. Up next is Wilma Fingerdoo.
Wilma, hey girl.
Actually, prop. I was dabbing so that I wasn't the only one being duped.
Listen. Come on, entendre. Only one being Dooley. There you go. Do-wah. Thank you, Wilma, for being here, my sister.
Sure,
I
wouldn't be
appreciate
the only one.
How you doing, Wilma?
I'm good. Thank you so much for watching Auntie Mame. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine about these vintage films that I've been talking about. Like, it's an arc of what I consider to be classic drag queen movies. And, you know, there are a lot of white people in these films. And I feel badly because, you know, you want to talk about like Lena Horne and you want to talk about Pearl Bailey, but they didn't make a lot of films with these people. And understandably because they were racist bastards. But the other part is, you can't recreate these films in the past. But I should be talking to somebody about, well, how would you redo a film? And I think Jennifer Lewis would play a fantastic Auntie May. And
you mean Simone? Simone would play a really good.
No, Jennifer Lewis would be perfect for Auntie Mame. Perfection as Auntie Mame.
For every actress. Somebody said that they were talking about Cher redoing it. I would snatch the wig off her head to keep her from doing Mame.
No, because there's been two.
She's Mama Rose from Gypsy. She's not Auntie Mame.
Right, because Lucille Ball was Auntie Mame, and then they also had the other actress. I can't remember her name right now. That's the one that I like. I didn't like Lucille Ball's interpretation. I like the but Wilma.
That was the musical Mame, and then Rosalind Russell did the
there it
play
is.
Auntie Mame.
Right. Absolutely. Now, Wilma, give us your social media so we can find out where you're at and also give you the love.
I'm on the tubes, the Wilma Fingerdoo review. I'm on Twitter, W Fingerdoo, and on Instagram, I'm the Wilma Fingerdoo.
I live for the W Fingerdoo. That was a capital for those who didn't understand. When you speak sometimes, there's a capitalization when you yell it out real quick.
Yes, man.
It's extremely strong. Are those hot Funyuns, Chris?
No.
I'm about to say.
Power lifesaver.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I felt you was.
You know what, C Diggy? Even if they were, I would not even have dragged you because that's one of my hood favorites. I love a Flamin' Hot. I love a Flamin' Hot.
Oh yeah. Mercy. All right, y'all in this indigestion, you can have it. Not my bowels, honey.
It.
I'm a spokesperson for Activia, honey. Okay, listen.
That Boniva girl, that Boniva.
Baby, I will be Jamie Curtis sitting on everybody's green couch talking about my life is fabulous because I can take a. All right, so listen. We were given a date for Drag Race Down Under, which will be the 1st of May, which most of us are excited. I know me and Wilma are because that's okay, there's more to do. Keep the check going real quick here. So for those of you who don't know, for us, that's a Saturday. Such a weird day. On a Saturday to have the episode. So the review is going to be out Sunday. I'm still going to keep a panel. Oh my God, it's going to be weird. And then Sunday, the 2nd, is when Pose returns to television.
Oh.
Back to back Wilma. So Saturday and Sunday is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
And they say that Drag Race season 13 will be done in 2 weeks, but they're lying.
Right.
We're going to be watching that on a Friday till we're dead. And then All-Star 6 starts on Paramount Plus if you're that person. Right? I think the following week after Drag Race Down Under.
Yeah, that's the rumor. They haven't posted the times yet, but apparently, and this is what they were doing like they did with UK, they're trying to keep some sort of order going on here where one season starts and then the next week it's going to be another season. I'm still waiting for them to drop the promos since I know the promos were done. Yeah. I know the promos were done. Okay. So where are they? Or is the editing? What happened this weekend? Are they posting tomorrow? Because we need them.
I'm still very disappointed that Drag Race Down Under didn't do an official Meet the Queens video. Because the one that they put out, to me, when you go to, well, I know Matty Rants, but when you go to an event and they have the picture wall and you stand in front of it and you smile.
And it kind of goes through.
It looked like that. That means it looked like they were actually there to audition and they took pictures of everyone and they're just going to keep the ones they need. On my, I have to apologize because I'm actually, after this, so this better happen, I'm filming my Meet the Queens video to put it up before May 1st because I really expected something better or more and they didn't give it to us.
You got more than I do for it, Wilma, because I can't make a video. Not for that 3 minutes. Not for them. What am I going to say? Oh, no. I'd be like, Art Simone. That's the only one. I met Art Simone and I met the one.
And Karen.
That's only the two I met. I only met those two. So
Anita Wiglet and Ketamine hosted a drag competition show in New Zealand called House of Drag.
Yeah, okay, that's them. I didn't know that.
And then Electra Shock was runner-up on season 2 of House of Drag. So there's 3 queens I kind of knew. plus
Oh, there's a connection. I'll have to do
Wow.
my research a little bit here. I was gonna go in like fresh, but now I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna do some research.
it's a whole other part of the world. I'll tell you what.
I love traveling via my computer because apparently
See, Wilma, when we start making connections like that, that makes me concerned for some of the contestants.
Well, here's the thing. Everyone's already worried. This is my research. I've spent the last 3 days kind of diving deep for this for my review today. But the Vivienne won a ambassador of Drag Race UK the year before they filmed it. So when she showed up as a contestant, people thought it was a fait accompli that she would win. She did win. Art Simone on WoW Plus has Highway to Heels, a little 15-minute thing. Now, I still don't know if she filmed that in Australia on her own and sold it to WoW. And I know WoW is like MTV here in Canada in that they'll pay for original programming. They don't necessarily want to produce it all. They'll buy it. So everyone's thinking, well, Art Simone's already on WoW. What's the point? Is she going to win? And I'm going to tell you, there's a reason she's on WoW, because she's a good queen. She's one of my picks for top 5 for sure. But I'm not sure what the story is behind her WoW thing. And it happened 2 years ago. I don't know if they did it in America, but in Canada, they promoted it at the end of every episode of All Stars 12. So you got this little thing.
Yep.
And I watched it. It's adorable. And the queens that she talks to, I can't remember now if any of them will be on Drag Race. I know she talked to Karen from Finance, but you know, it's interesting. It's risen a lot of questions with some of the queens.
Yeah, this is what a lot of people have been talking about with the Art Simone issue with the show, because it's like, okay, she already got what the UK queen would have got for her grand prize. So what's happening here? I don't know.
People forget what that kind of attention will bring, because Art Simone can be on WoW, but who's watched it? I mean, I did, but not everyone has. I certainly wasn't quick to watch it. But if she just walked through the door on Drag Race once, I'd be like, oh, I know who that is.
Right.
You know, so I get it.
I will say, though, that we'll be having this conversation again when International All-Stars comes out and the cast is fully released. We will definitely be having this conversation again.
What All-Stars? No offense, but Canada had 1 season. Holland had 1 season. At the time of filming All-Stars, International All-Stars, Britain only had 1 season. Where are these stars coming from? I think these queens need to take a couple of years off to take their exposure to Drag Race and prove to us they're a star before they start calling them All-Stars. Come on.
I agree.
Because there is one in particular that's going to be on this international season who's already a very big All-Star that I said, oh, okay, they're competing. Good luck to the rest of y'all.
Who?
Well, they're from an international season. I will say that it had more than 1 season. They weren't even a competitor. That part.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking about now, man.
That part, right? And we're gonna leave it there. You know, that's my sister, so that's why I'm like, oh. There was a whole moment at DragCon where I lost my shit when I met them. Y'all should know who I'm talking about.
I remember this. I agree with you, Wilma. Though, like RuPaul right now is in her America's Next Top Model bag, where they're just cranking shit out. But like, you're right. I almost feel like I would much rather wait and have All Stars maybe every other year. So that the girls can go out and do stuff and really, you know, like,
and when they
hit that All-Star bag.
When they started All-Stars, the first one was after season 4.
Yeah.
And the next one wasn't until season 6. So there was a break. And I think a break between the years is better, just to give these girls some time to percolate. Do you know what I mean?
And we'll miss the show. We'll miss it. We'll oh my God, we have to wait another year for this? Like, oh my God, it's not coming out. When is this coming
These
out?
networks don't care about that. They just want the money.
They don't.
They
do.
Well, and that's another thing. If anyone thinks that Drag Race is about these drag queens, they're drunk. If no one was watching this show, they wouldn't make it. They don't care who wins. They don't care who goes home first. It's a business.
Did y'all see that tweet today where somebody was like, RuPaul isn't a drag mother, she's a drag landlord?
Oh Lord! Well, that's one of these babies here that wrote that post. Okay, that's one of these babies here. I was like, I saw that screen there. I said, I know who that is. Wait,
I cackle. I said, ooh, okay.
I couldn't like it, girl. You was about to give me never to be on the show if I like. I was like, will not retweet, but I have saved it. Oh Lord, let's go ahead and jump right in here. That was a great segue. Listen, give me some love, Susan. I see you on my PayPal. D, I see you on my Cash App. Takara, Casey, I see you. Thank you so much for donating, and I see all of y'all in here in the chat. I appreciate y'all for being here. 589 of you on YouTube, hearts included. We're talking about season 13. Okay. I sang a couple times when God blessed me. Then I stopped singing in the church. And he was like, okay. I didn't slide down to hell just yet. Now, season 13 decides to get rid of the smile of the smiles, which is Olivia Lux, and then give us these 4 babies who we didn't have to find out more about because we didn't already know about them, but we already knew about them. This was a rehashing of a rehash of a hamburger biscuit sandwich of the breakfast. It felt this was sitting under a heating lamp and we didn't need this food. I could have had a fresh bag of fries, motherfucker. I'm just being real. Okay. So I know some people felt like Matt is getting bored of this and da-da-da. Yeah, we all were bored. We have heard these stories before from all 4 of them. Now, what was interesting about this episode was them taking a song and turning it into a musical. Okay. What was interesting was seeing how RuPaul could juggle not being transphobic for 5 seconds. That was interesting, which was so you got top surgery and you got surgery as well. Very the uncle at the barbecue who just found out that their cousin or niece or nephew transitioned and they're really interested. And so he's got like a chicken and a little bag of something sitting right here. Actually, let's say he's at a seafood boil. I'll do that for Chris. So there's some red potatoes and some corn with some Old Bay seasoning on that motherfucker, okay? And this man got this little crawfish in his hand.
Waving it.
So when you transition, that was RuPaul for me during that entire moment. I was like, girl, she is eating food and asking this question. There was a Tic Tac in her cheek. I'm telling you. And Michelle's like, looking at over like, girl, I really hope, because I'm not a part of this. Michelle was like, I'm not a part of this, honey. I know my baby.
Was it that bad? I guess.
Yes. I guess.
It was just so quick. There was no segue into that, Chris. It was straight up, Gotmik sat down. So when you got surgery, and it was like, hold on, bitch, she just sat down. Was there a conversation? Was there a segue to this moment? Is it okay if I say this? Because then when we got later into the episode with Gotmik, when the picture turned around and was, I got permission to do
We got the disclaimer.
That was where it was like, oh, bitch, someone sat and talked to her. You know what I'm saying? That's why we were all like, oh, okay, this was interesting. And Gotmik handled it with class, in my opinion, because
I was gagged too. I was like, so we're triggering gender dysphoria on the runway? Like, I was shook.
And RuPaul,
and yeah. Comment, and I was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I have to say, they didn't have that conversation with Gotmik that day. They had it before they started filming because they have to get all that stuff in. And at the beginning of the season, I'll bet you the whole crew was less trans aware than they are now. So the idea that somebody asked Gotmik, we want to show a baby picture of you, but is that wrong? Is a great question. Because if you don't know, ask before you make the mistake.
Thank God they did. Right. Thank God. Because if it had just been one of these, here you go. Can you imagine? Oh my goodness.
I was gagged.
Because remember when the song happened and there was that whole moment with Gotmik, that was like, okay, they weren't prepared to listen to themselves. So it was a little bit shocking and triggerable. If that picture had been turned around without a preference, the whole production, boom.
I was so shocked that she was blonde. That was the bigger shock for me.
Okay, Gotmik said, Cade said, we are getting rid of all of this. We're going right into this. This is me, feminine twink, down. And I was here for it. And again, I like Gotmik. Gotmik has been able to explain themselves throughout the entire season perfectly well without being like, oh, this is this and this is that. It's been very, like, I don't have a moment where I'm going, what did they say? No, it's, I get it. Okay, cool. Like, what are we asking questions about now? Like, you know what I mean? So I like that for Gotmik.
Matt, someone in the comments actually just said something that came to my mind during that particular scene. they used Gotmik's chosen name and did not use her dead name, which I was also like, oh no, they always say their name when they're doing the photo, and they used Kate as opposed to their name prior to.
You're talking about this one right here with Brennan. I was for real worried.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been something weird if that had happened. And I was appreciative when Gotmik says, Kate, that's your name. That's your name. And I was like, remind yourself this journey you've been on. Okay. So that was a good moment. Now I'm going to talk about Candy, and I don't need anyone to get triggered right now.
Let's do it.
I haven't gotten to the runway yet. I'm going to refer to a conversation being held. Okay. Because I already had people in the comment section of my last video. Maddie's a hater. And I'm like, girl, I told you I'd take the ratio. I don't care. I said what I said. She was a bop in the trash, and that was that. Mama did not wear her dress for the assignment. Boop the doop the doop. But we'll get to the conversation about RuPaul with Candy, and it's almost the same thing with this y'all celebrate me here story. Okay, I got that. I'm here for it. It didn't go any further. Episode 7, episode 3, episode 10, episode 6. Yep, that all every single time. So I don't know where else I can go with this baby. So that's why I was like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on? I want more. Give me more. Britney Spears. What y'all think?
This whole episode was just like fatigue. I was watching this at a watch party, so I was more concerned with the we had like a drinking game, like take a shot if anyone says slay, girl, bitch or something. So I was looking more so first, so I really wasn't paying attention to like the conversation, because it's like we heard this before. It's like it just felt like a filler episode, really.
Yeah.
I mean, so this would have been the 5th episode in the season where no one was eliminated. That's 5 episodes. Like
someone needs the top 3.
5 out of 14, but 15 episodes have aired because the pandemic special happened. So 14, 15, and 5 out of those where no one went home.
I thought the whole episode was just too nice. Like, I get it. It's the end of the race. You don't want to send somebody home. Okay, fine. That's your choice. I'm here for someone to go home. Not once did Tyra Banks keep a girl. Do you know what I'm saying? So why are we keeping these queens? And no offense to Candy Muse, but she got to go home. No offense to her, but she's been horrible on that runway more than twice. She's been in the bottom twice. She only has 1 challenge win, and it was recent. In any normal edition, adding up those points, she comes out on the lowest. On top of that, no offense, because I thought her runway was beautiful for a change. That wasn't a finale dress. It wasn't a finale.
It was not.
All the words out of my mouth.
Yep.
Take them, Wilma. Take all of it out of my mouth. Just take it all.
Because I like Candy. I want to sit next to her at a party so she don't talk about me. But the point is, I think she's fun. But she's not. When she said, I've worked so hard to be here, it's like you have not. No offense, honey, but other people have worked harder. There are girls at home right now who worked harder for their season than you have being here in the Final 4. No offense. I just find that lack of awareness. Like, when they said Candy Muse's name, step forward, and going down the aisle, I knew they were saying Simone, because they're not saying Simone.
Right, because if that had happened, a riot.
If they come back to her, I would have been more impressed. I've been all like, oh, Rue, you fooled us. You tricked us there. But there's no offense, again, because I'm not diminishing the queen, but it's a competition. And stacked up next to the rest of the people standing there, she wasn't in a gown. She was also one of the 2 queens who had on an ugly gown. I mean, her gown was better than Rosé's. No offense to Rosé, but it looked like she threw plaid on the ground, rolled herself up into it, and put it up. How is that gorgeous? Like, it just got covered up in that fabric. Oh.
Yeah. Like,
and I'm
it's
sorry, but once Simone walked out in that, once
That's a
Simone
double
walked
fam,
out
you
on that
would.
runway in that dress, because y'all know Celine Dion's on the phone asking to borrow that. It was over. It was over.
Oh,
I mean, we might as well just talk about it now. So
let's do it.
This episode showed me a lot of things. First, it showed me that Candy has no business being in the top 4. Hell, the top 6, she shouldn't have been in it at all, just to be honest. And I like Candy. You know, I'll tip her when I see her in New York. But no. Gotmik, it proved to me that, you know, she deserves top 2 spot for me. Like, I'm sold on Gotmik, you know, but the main thing that I got from this episode is Simone needs to win this point blank. I will be angry. Like, there's no way. There's no way. Like, Gotmik can't beat her in a lip sync. She bodied that lip sync. Bodied the lip sync. And the look was so regal. And it was giving me young Cicely Tyson. Like, there's just no way. No.
Mm-hmm.
When she started dabbing her face with that towel, I was like, give it to her. Just give her the crown.
and that's Whitney. That was Whitney.
Yeah.
Trendy Kid Bonet literally does her
She does
entire
that.
performance outlined by Whitney Houston, Soulful Church Whitney. And so what you got, even though like we have these conversations, is up-tempo song, The Girls Can Boom Cat, not to Whitney Houston.
That's not what she did.
She's not a dancer. When you emulate, girl, you emulate and you emote. So I'm laughing, I'm giggling because Wilma's saying everything I said in my goddamn review. Click. See, Diggy said everything in my review. Click. And Dooley is co-sign. Click. I've never felt so vindicated in this top 4 situation. This is a great top 4 right here. And no hate to Candy. I do not dislike her. I just, you're going to tell me
she's outclassed.
that this baby,
In every level.
this baby did not have a fucking finale dress ready to wear for the finale and came out in her sheer look that she was supposed to wear. You did not come ready for the assignment, your homework. You don't even get to complete. Like in school, she would have got a 0. Do you feel me? Like, let's be clear here. You're my favorite student, an A. Fuck that. That wouldn't have happened. Sorry.
That's what I was going to say. So like, it's to the point now where like, the rigor mortis is blatantly obvious because like they're telling us a storyline and it's like, but girl, we was here. We saw what had happened. So remember the voiceover, Candy's like, oh, you know, I'm not one to wear a gown and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but you told us 47 episodes ago that you wore your finale gown for the fashion show in the first 2 episodes. Like they're trying to like weave together and we're seeing the lace.
In that Beyonce, hold up, they don't love me like I love you, whole dress moment, little Sunday tipping number. Wear no dress. Does it have to be layered? Does it need to be tiered? What's going on? Like, don't you sit there and lie to us now, old Muse. Don't you do it. Don't you do it, Musey. Don't, I'm going to start calling you Rock Candy, bitch, because you got me on some fuck shit. I'm getting sick of it. And I love y'all. And I know this is y'all girl. If you live for her, live. I'd never tell nobody to not like who they want to like. But don't call me on some bullshit when the bullshit's already in my face. Please don't. Please don't. She did not come out in a dress. It was not a gown. It was not the assignment. Chop. She knew it was top 4. They weren't going to read her. So that's why she did that. Wilma, what you got to say?
Well, I was going to say the one thing that shocked me, because no offense to Rosé, I'm not a big fan. I'm just not. Yes, she's all right. She does what she does well, but I don't care to watch it, you know? But when she said she's only been doing drag 3 years, I nearly died. I thought she'd been doing it longer, and that's one of the reasons I wasn't impressed. 3 years.
3 years?
Yes.
I thought Rosé did it for a lot longer than that.
I thought so too, but she was talking to Rue, and she's been a performer for longer.
Right, okay.
But she only started drag 3 years ago. And personally, I think she would have better eyebrows by now, but that's just me. But I don't know. There's something about Rosé too, where Denali had this as well. That kind of, I do this well in my home. I expect to do this well here. It's like, you probably do this well where you are because you haven't surrounded yourself with better people.
I mean, you know, they really just wanted to weaponize their BFAs and, you know, get a cute coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Twitter joke. That's a Twitter joke, y'all.
I can't. I can't.
Her name might as well be Candy Corn because I don't want it.
Somebody said Candy looked like the foldable laundry hamper in the IKEA kids section. What's sad is I know what hamper you're talking about. That's what's killing me.
Oh no, she does look like that. Oh my
You
God.
know, right when you're that corner in that section with the little kids zone.
It's like a
I love
slinky.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Listen, again, I don't hate this baby. I know it's so hard for people to hear this kind of stuff, but like, let's be clear. There would be somebody in this group who we would be doing this with another cast of queens. Silky, season 11. Season 12. Who was that in season 12? That was like, girl, what's happening here? Did that even go far? No, that was just 3. We didn't have to do all that season 12. We didn't have to do all this. We only had 3. Yeah.
Because one got disqualified.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
We always forget.
Qualification for this season too. There was supposed to be 14 girls.
That is T. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true, Wilma.
Yeah.
Can you remind me of that?
Yes.
I don't know if we should say her name though.
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. All I know is she was in her act. She takes people's phones, and she was either sharing their dick pics. I don't know what they had. Or putting stuff on. I mean, that's already. I think she should get an award just for being that technical, because I'm not that person. But this was the problem, and I think it came up that she did that in her live act, and because of the whole Queen from season 12 issue, they didn't want to have another scandal where they had to have a season where they had to cut around a girl, and they just decided we're just going to avoid this altogether. And they last minute, I read something where she was at the airport, either landing or taking off, and they said, sorry, but thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, I like that, not because it's a production company being responsible, because it is, and they should, but I like it because that put the fear of God in some queens. What do I do on stage? What am I saying? I need to be responsible of myself and how I'm representing myself, because it does affect you. Maybe you're just performing in a local bar and 6 people come every week and give you $1. Good for you. But if you have bigger designs, you've got to think beyond those 6 people.
Oh, thank you, Lord. Like, what you doing? Why are you sending those people those things? Is that helping?
Yeah.
This is for
No
you.
one's asking you to stop thinking that way, but here are the ramifications. Here are the consequences.
And for me, Wilma, if your mind is already that deep where you can think that far ahead, you can think even further into doing something that'd be even more brilliant than you sending pictures of your penis and stuff like
Here's
that.
an interesting thing I want to bring up. 2 of the queens on Drag Race Down Under, Scarlett Adams, blackface, more than a couple times. Now, Australia, you need to understand this. I'm not making an excuse. Australia is wildly sexist and wildly racist. They've always had problems with their Aboriginal people there. And it's been a very us and them mentality. It really puts me in mind of Southern America 50 years ago. So I'm not saying that, but you have to know that that's where a lot of people are thinking. And 8 years ago, Scarlett Adams did blackface a couple of times on stage. She was 18. We should all be so lucky to not have our own activities at 18 shown to the world. But she was a performer. She did do that. She has since talked about how sorry and embarrassed and regretful she is, how stupid she was at that age, and has done almost everything she can to turn that around by supporting all communities in Australia. She really, really has. The other queen, ironically, is Karen from Finance.
Yep.
She had a gollywog tattoo on her somewhere. She's since had it covered up. She also had a gollywog doll collection because she had one when she was a child. Now,
it's a huge collection. It's huge.
She was raised in an environment that where her attachment to a gollywog doll probably has nothing to do with racism. It's that was my favorite doll and blah, blah, blah. But the education has come since. She has thrown that collection out. Like, she didn't even sell it. She threw it out. there may be historians in America who might have paid for that.
Because she could have got a lot of money for it, and for her to throw it out was a big deal. That was a big deal.
She threw it out, and she covered the tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing we have to be sensitive to is forgiveness. If we don't forgive people and hope that their contrition is true and they move forward, then everyone will be afraid to try and change. Like, there's no reason. It's repeated behavior we have to be aware of. And I think, like, if those two queens were doing America and those stories came out before the official cut, they would have been cut. And I'm not saying what they did is excusable, but they both did it not from a place of hate. And I think that the education needs to come from an unhateful place too. There has to be a forgiveness. There has to be a belief that they do want to change and do see what they did as wrong, and move forward from there. I'm white. I don't know.
No, honestly, I thought Dooley was gonna say something, so I'd turn my shoulder this way, because normally this would have been your cue. Because this is normally when you do. I was like, Professor Wilma gave a great
I was going to give you the sociologist view, but I was like, we don't have time for that. So
listen, I get where Wilma's coming from in this directly, because again, this was at a point when this person could have said something differently. It could have not been actually dropped. It could have been a whole nother story. I've now come to a place, after having many conversations with people, especially growing up in the South, that it is about what they do next after what is being done first. Like, did you say something? Did you go about the actions to remove this sort of situation from us needing to have to retread over this again, like some other YouTubers who continue to do racist things but somehow still have platforms? But I'm not going to call no names after apologies. But there you go. So for me, it is about what the next step is. It is about, if I see another video of them doing something crazy or saying the N-word several times or anything else like that, it could be those moments. So I get where everyone feels that, no, for me, it's not a place of forgiveness. Okay. Otherwise, though, we have to learn to get to that route. But at the same time, if that baby fuck up again, that's all I got to say to that. But
we've all been burned by Jeffree Star. We've all been burned by people, but not everyone's painted with the same brush. And some people learn ignorance by their environment. They're not even taught racism from a hateful thing. They just hear it. They don't. I remember my great aunt, so she was 70 when I was 20, used to call the Hispanic people down the street, and I'm sorry to say, the Spits. I thought that was their name. I'd never heard the term, a derogatory term for a Latin or a Mexican or anything in my whole life. And then when I realized what it was, I called her on it. I said, well, what would you think if they called you an old cunt? Like, at some point, you have to understand what you're saying is affecting real people. It's not acceptable. And until you point out to somebody what they're saying is unacceptable, in a lot of cases, they don't know. My great aunt was of that generation. She was in New York with my mother in the 50s on a bus, and some people were speaking some other language, and she said, you're in America now, speak English. She was that person.
Oh,
but if you think, oh, she was the sweetest person. She was always a kind word, she knit socks. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't realize that her racism was a product of where she was from, the age she was in, and just lack of anyone telling her otherwise. It's shocking, but we have to, once we realize it's wrong, we have to understand why it's wrong. And then we can then we can make a heartfelt apology. Until you know why it's wrong. You can say, I'm sorry 100 times, but if you don't really get why it's wrong, you don't mean it.
Dooley?
What are you about to say, Dooley?
Yeah, you speak, girl. This is not the time for you to shy away. This is this conversation. So go.
I get the perspective that you're coming at, but like it harkens the opinion that like just because your intent is something doesn't take away from the impacts. So
Yeah.
like, sure, like maybe your intent was not to be racist, but like your views, your attitudes, your comments, etc., have an impact. And so when we're talking about I think that complicates the conversation around like forgiveness and what does it mean to atone for like racism and things of that nature. So I don't know that it's like that cookie cutter.
Okay. All right. I don't know if you don't want to just go in, Dooley, so I'm going to go in, okay? Because for me, this is not a point to where we can sit back and just be like, well, Wilma said da-da-da-da. No, I understand where Wilma's coming from too, but also, Wilma, when it comes down to the forgiveness part from a lot of us, yeah, we can say it, but then in our minds, the next step is going to be like how we are listening to what that person does. Now, everything that they're doing almost seems like it could be driven into that road. Like it's, and also who behind them heard those comments and got the courage and the strength to then say those words too. Because a lot of people like say Sharon Needles, who was put on this pedestal and all this type of stuff, who did a lot of things that were very anti-Semitic, very racist, very, very gross behavior, but yet is still being hired and applied and being put into positions where they've never actually taken full responsibility for the things that they've said or done. Now, let's say this person was 18 years old and this happened to them and they're sorry for that. Cool. But when I was 18, I understood racism.
Yeah.
So for me, it's difficult when someone's like, I didn't understand that. And I'm like, but girl, how did you not get that by this point in time? And who were you around at this point? And yes, your environment was this, that, and the other, but I also know a bunch of other Black men's environment like mine when I cried with Simone, where I had to deal with Black straight men trying to kill me or otherwise, or white men that were calling me the N word and the F word. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also going to a barbershop and this man's looking at me for one way because of just how I walked in the room. You know what I mean? It goes into a point of where it's past the point of color, and it goes into respectability politics, and it goes into a point of this person should know better. And so I get that. And while I'm proud of Karen for doing what she did, and I'm happy that Scarlett said something, in the back of my Black ass mind, I'm going to be thinking about it, and I'm going to have to look at them. So so what you said though, I respect that. It's beautiful, and a lot of people can be there, but not everybody. We, as Black people, don't have to meet them at the door. And that's the problem that some people always face with us, is that, oh, so we have to be there to say, you know what, it's okay, baby, you can come. We've been doing that. So for us, it's like, I'm not going to hold that against them, but I'm also not going to play patty cake with this baby. I'm not going to do that. I can't hold your hand. I can watch you walk, bitch, but I can't walk with you. I can see you.
We've got a long way to go. Like, this education hasn't even scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But we're scratching it.
But that's the thing. Thank you for scratching it with us. Thank you for saying what you had to say, because that perspective is needed. It is necessary when it comes down to something. But just like we have our opinions and you have yours, they all belong in a circle. They all belong in this bubble. And when we continue to talk about it, that's when we can solve these problems, by continuing to talk about it.
Because I can't help being a white person, but I can help what kind of white person I am.
Right.
And I'm constantly checking it, you know, because there's always having Gotmik on Drag Race this season was a great education for me.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that I'm all inclusive, but I didn't know how to refer to a trans person really, or even know what language is suitable within that community. I've seen documentaries and stuff like that, but I don't really have a lot of trans friends, like close friends. So there's not even that conversation happening privately on a social level. But to have Gotmik, when he said that there isn't a lot of trans representation, especially female to male, because everyone, like drag queens, male to female trans people, they tend to take up a lot of that front page of a newspaper. Lesbians, trans men, they're not as interesting to the public. They're not going to sell as many papers because they don't look as odd. But you get a bearded man in a dress during Pride, you know that man is going to be on every newspaper the following week, because it causes a sensation.
It's the media, it's representation, it's just how things go. But again, these conversations are important to have. If you find that uncomfortable, this may not be the spot for you, but we're all people who can sit here in a room and have this conversation. And that's what needs to be The uncomfortability needs to stop. That's where the issue starts. When people don't want to address the problem and they want to move on from stuff, how are things going to change if we can't talk about it? So I appreciate you, Wilma, for your perspective. But what I'm going to do is continue with Drag Race.
Go on.
That way we're not talking about drag racism. Start your engines. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, that was a whole season of All Stars 2. So let's go. No, I'm just kidding. No, poor Coco. Had to be there, girl. All right. Painted like soot and they sent you home still. Okay. Oh, Dooley, you're still so stoic right now. Good for you. All right. Let's talk about these looks.
I did a sociology at PhD. My feelings on this topic are very nuanced, specific, and kind of aggressive. So as to not suck the air out of the room, I chose to not speak.
I respect you. I still would have rather you had said what you need to say from your perspective, but at the same time, you made that decision and there you go. And so that's why we're going to speak. Now, Chris was mad over here, but Wilma, once again, I'm okay with us having this conversation, this topic. I'm okay with this being real. I'm about that. I can talk about anything, okay? But at the same time, it is a huge bubble and there's a lot to poke with it, okay? So
yeah, right.
There we go. Now,
its own episode, really. Like you can do a whole 2 hours.
I mean, if we put RuPaul up here and let's go, all right, let's talk about race and let's talk about this with her because Lord knows how she did the Vixen on that reunion is something that needs to be talked about. We can go, we can go there, but you know, let's get in here. All right. So now that we got through this and we, I guess, went through the performance of Lucky, what did y'all think of the song and what did you think of the lighting? Because I need to know, because I hated the lighting. And what did you think of the performances themselves?
The song was meh. I didn't really care for it too much. It was that little what's that big white girl's name?
Which one? Rebel Wilson?
Megan something?
Megan McCarthy?
No. She did those doo-wop, those pop doo-wop songs. She has a song with Nicki Minaj too.
Megan Trainor?
Megan Trainor, yes. It's just like a Megan Trainor song. Big white girl. That's all I thought right now. I mean, that could have been Adele, probably not anymore. But you know, I was lost for words. I'm sorry. But yeah, it reminded me of that Jessie J song. It just sounded like a rehash. That's all.
I don't know. I
didn't
dislike it. I like that it was poppy. There's a couple of RuPaul songs like that last one. To the. I just didn't like that song. But I thought this one was snappy and poppy. I also think that Gotmik had the best verse for that song. I felt that she had a good, like her lyrics fit. She didn't try and do too much. Where I found Rosé, her lyrics seemed to be more of a show-off. She tried to do as much as she could in it. A lot of voice trails and then that quick rap at the end. All the elements were great, but all at once in that short little time, I felt was a little much. But then on the other side, I felt Simone was a little disappointing because I felt she drew out a bunch of words to fill the time because it felt to me like she wasn't capable of writing more. And then I didn't understand a word Candy said.
Simone
yeah, that was a bowl of spit. Yeah, Candy was a bowl of spit. I didn't understand nothing. It was someone spitting in the tube and just shaking around. Like, here we go, vocals. What did you say, C. Diggy?
No, I mean, Simone couldn't say anything. She just looked gorgeous doing what she was doing. I actually liked Rosé's the most. I thought that was impressive, the little, like, the speed rap that she did. I was impressed. I know, right? I was impressed.
You were impressed by Rosé. What, C. Diggy won?
I know, like, it was just like, like I just thought that was a little cool, you know.
That's impressive.
I can have my opinion.
No, you can. I can look at you crazy. Yeah. Yeah, look at this Quan. Look, Dooley is fine here. Yes, he is. He's gathering himself right now because the topic of race was discussed. And for some of us, that is a triggerable moment, like for other things here. So give my friend a second while he's sitting in this corner. If you want to go off camera for a second, you could do so, but I can't have you silent this whole goddamn time. Now back to this performance that was happening here. I'm just being real. Happening this performance here. Rose was professional. When the little sauce moment happened where she's supposed to throw a little Millie Wop in there, that didn't happen. That did not happen. I said, Jamal down.
None of the choreography did. I was very confused.
Candy did.
She looked good.
She looked great. Yeah.
She looked good. It looked better than her Runway.
Okay, this is why. When it came to the lighting situation, Candy benefited. The yellow with her. And the way they backlighted it, it actually looked really well. Now, when we were on Gotmik, did it not? I was like, what? It seemed really dark. And I was like, okay, like I get they're trying to color light it. You know how they color light the things and they're trying to make it like, oh, it's all purple or whatever. For hers, it looked weird. Candy's, it looked great. Rose's was really dark tinted pink. So it was kind of like, can I see who this is? Even though her choreography was great, And Simone, that orange really worked to the effect of how it sat with the skin tone and how everything placed together. So to me, I saw what they wanted to do, but then when the whole giant lucky sign happened and they were just dancing around and there was like no lighting anywhere and you could see the dirty, scuffed up floor, I was like, bitch, what is happening here? Like, Jesus. But yes, I thought the song grew on me as I listened to it for my review. It grew on me as I listened to it for review. It does sound like Bang Bang, Ariana Grande and all that. It's very bang bang into my room, hairspray, da 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 da. Like it, but just throw in a couple of these like hokey pokey songs and turn it all around, and that's what you find out. Okay, so yeah, I wish it was Britney Spears' Lucky, but you know, we didn't get that. Poor thing. Free Britney.
RuPaul needs to figure out what kind of music he wants to make because how do we go from guess who's back in the house to
Thank you. Hold on. It's too bad Lucian Piani went crazy and turned into a whole psycho because honestly, a lot of that good music was happening with him. But you know, they say the ones who are rocks are geniuses half the time. So because that's where we got sexy, sexy drag queen. I couldn't believe it when I looked at the credits. I was like, oh, he made the song. It's my damn it. I've had to look for new ones.
What did you do? I'm not familiar with the behind the scenes on him.
So first of all, he was on drugs, like for real. We're talking like Lucian Piani. But wait, he was doing like meth. He was RuPaul's producer and like arranger before current season.
He was the guy you would see all the time doing the musical episodes that would come in with keyboard arrangements, and he was the one responsible for that guy. So he went on that whole Twitter rant or whatever that went
in 2016 after the election on one of his drug fueled Twitter rants. He called RuPaul the hard ER and was talking about all of this like pro 45 stuff. Like he went hard left. So he was promptly fired, and that's when we got Cha Cha Bitch with all the new producers and shit.
Yep.
Wow, I did not know all this team.
He wrote Amazonian Airways. Yup.
Well,
he got arrested 4 times in 1 month.
Yep.
Yeah. Amanda Bynes. Everybody, they're the same.
That's literally what happened.
Yeah,
Amanda Bynes.
Wow.
Didn't know that.
Poor thing. But then again, so no, he can't. Like someone said, oh no, can't come back from that. No. It's kind of a wrap. The rant again. Once you do something on the internet, it is there forever. So as many times as people like to come back, someone is literally going to just post that receipt once again. You remember 2 years ago when this happened? Yeah, sorry about that, but try again. You need a good lawyer like Will Smith to erase a lot of things from your history, so that way people won't talk about your gay sex scene, so people won't assume you're gay anymore. You know, Will Smith. Y'all don't remember that movie that you can't find anywhere? Okay, you can't find that movie anywhere. And I'm like, damn, no one has the VHS at home. Were they entering people's homes? We heard you bought this video at such and such. Can you please give it back?
Wow.
I'm telling you, get some money. You can get rid of your problems, but if you don't got it, get ready to face them. But let's get to the runway itself. I want to start with the judges, though. I always say Ross and Carson are there. It's not hate. It's just they're there. Suits.
They are present.
Fantastic Sam's haircuts. What do you want me to do? Then we get to Michelle Visage. This streak is so fucking lovely. I love it so much on her. It's really, it's adding to Michelle's character and presence. 6 Degrees of Separation. Yes, that was the movie. But RuPaul in this gam showing outfit. I always like it when she shows a leg. It's fine. But this wig.
It was so far back.
Like as if Daffy Duck was shot in the face.
Damn.
And the bill was just stuck all the way back here. You're despicable. Like it was very Looney Tunes episode. Very her. Wabbit season, duck season, fire. Like, girl, did you make it back to the booth? Like, what happened? I know when she was on that set, which was like, can we just pull this a little bit forward? Sorry, y'all. That was bothering me. What did y'all think?
I also wanted to shout out Carson's awkward comment about, I forget what the exact words from, but it was something about bottoming for a group of like assumed people of color, and I was just kind of like, you can make
it. It was a statement Drew
was
said, and it was something to do with like an orgy or something like that. And he said only if da 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 da, and it was like, wait, what?
He's had the same kind of like quips the entire season, and I'm concerned. I'm like, bro, what are you going through? Like,
it's the Tanner. It's the Tanner. He's probably sharing the same bed with Raven.
Lord.
Tanning bed. I couldn't imagine those sheets. I wouldn't do it to y'all. Never white. They're always tan sheets. Who knows? Wilma, what'd you think of RuPaul's look?
Well, I really love the dress. Normally, there's been a couple of like I love it when she shows her legs too. But there's been a couple of them where I'm like, oh, is that the best way to do it? But she's had her pads adjusted properly. They used to like kind of blur out from the knee and just made her whole thigh look big. And she's finally got that proportion down. I didn't feel like the wig was that far back from what I could see. It looked like it was in its normal spot, but there was that like against the head and then came back out. So it felt Well, it really looked like it needed a hairband, or it had a hairband and she lost it last minute.
See, there you go. A hairband probably would have set that completely different. But then again, some people want to cliff dive, and that was what that wig was giving. Water. Let's talk about the looks themselves, including one we've already dragged a little bit here. But I want to start with Gotmik first, in this beautiful white dress with these black holes all over it. She even said glory holes. I was like, I wouldn't have thought that. I would have just thought this was some sort of mod-esque sort of beautiful mermaid dress that was paying reference to so many different things. I thought the wig was incredible. I thought the makeup was incredible. I need to learn how to do that. The eye makeup is severe. And yeah, what'd you think of Gotmik's Mick Got?
It was stunning.
Yeah, it was glamorous,
Stunning.
whimsical. Her makeup skills is a tour de force. Like, I think she has the best makeup skills I think I've seen on Drag Race.
I wasn't a big fan of it when she turned around the corner at first, because I didn't know what was going on in her face, and that one dot on her mouth made it look like her whole mouth was painted crooked. I didn't like she was smirking or something. But as she came down the runway and she had that like naked eye and then the hole in the dress, like, the concept was much better. I also love that wig. She's had some great wigs this season.
Perfect.
Yeah. Candy wore half of them.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, she didn't loan half of Mouth of Candy, girl.
Do you think that Candy would have made it that far if Gotmik hadn't helped her out with some wigs?
If this was a smooth like season 5 tea, them girls would have been like, "Oh, you ain't bringing enough drag? Well, deal with it." It would have kept bumping.
Hell no, they would have let her rot. They would have let her rot, girl. And if this was season 5, and they said who should go home and why, and they all said her name, and she went back there with all that barking, they would have rose up on her like, Who are you yelling at? Who are you? Sit down. You're going
Detox,
home.
Alyssa, Coco, Roxy, just like, excuse
Oh
me.
my God.
They would have dragged her sister. Oh, they'd have let her have it.
Sit down, little boy.
Yeah. Coco, literally. Oh my goodness, I can't. I will save Candy because this is just too much. It's too easy. Let's go to Rose with this giant tartan piece of fabric on the front that kind of ate the silhouette of the look with the wig that needed just 2 more stories on that building. I did like what it was, but I wanted it to look just a tad bit different and a little bit more polished. And that's the first for Rose, because normally Rose is about the polish. So what'd y'all think? And that belt. A belt does not make it the dress, excuse me.
When they first hit her with the camera, it looked like she was waiting for a bus. She just had her face like she just was standing there looking like it was weird. And it was flat on top. It made it look like there should be a drink on her head because the sides were quite full, but then it kind of went, ugh, you know? And
yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Scottish tartans, a tartan is the family colors. And there are 2 for every family. There's the dress plaid and the hunter's plaid. The hunter's plaid is usually brighter, so you don't get shot in the woods. But I wish she had used, because I'm sure that's her family's tartan, but I wish she had used 2, both of them, to break it up, because that was a dark plaid to be all over her body. Even though one side was pleated and straight, she had, I realized, a rose twisted into this other side, but it didn't look like that to me. It just looked like the other side was kind of bunched in and tucked into that belt.
Yeah, it really did. I thought Mama was just like, okay, I'm late for work. Hold on, bitch. They don't like me when my shirt's not tucked in. And go. Like, that's what I got from it. And the wig looked like it belonged with a different dress, because when I said 2 stories higher, y'all, because of how heavy it was on the back, it just added to the heaviness of the full look. Yeah, it pulled her down. I still liked it, though. I mean, concept-wise, I was like, okay, this would have been a severe serve if it was just cleaned up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't like it dresses that do that anyways, with the giant pieces of fabric in the front. They're like, hello. It's like, what's this?
And then
I like the idea.
That narrow little belt.
Oh, God. Oh, the tiny belt. Like that Forever 21, what was that, a 34 waist? Like, like what's going on here? No, I'm lying. She was corseted down and padded. That was about a 42. Yeah, I was like, no, couldn't be for me. It was just a little too thickums.
It was a chop for me.
Yeah, I like the idea. The execution needed some more zhuzhing to make it, worthwhile.
Needed a
like what Wilma said, like that weird pause that she did. You would have thought she had on something like that yellow Rihanna had on at the Met Gala. Like, it wasn't worth that pause. It really wasn't. You would have thought she had on something major.
Wow.
You be doing the most, like, lately, y'all. You be looking like, girl, hold on. And the gloves. The gloves didn't match. Everyone was talking about that in the comment section. They were like, what were those gloves doing with that? Like, these black lace gloves with this red.
That's what that look needed, was more pattern. Do you know what I mean? It was just...
Yeah, it was fabric and a belt.
I wish that the gloves and the belt had been the same fabric and the belt had been wider. Just to kind of, because it didn't even look like that little brown belt was pulling her in at all. Like,
no,
where was the body in all this?
It was low key Shangela with the Gone with the Window. Yep, it was low key that it gave that same kind of silhouette where you just put a belt around that sister and called it a day.
They are roasting Rose in the comments right now.
They're not lying. The makeup was harsh too. The hair looked like plastic. Her makeup was, y'all in this makeup. I mean, listen.
It was bad. The makeup was bad.
The crimson chin has to do a lot
Not
to get
the crimson
of
chin.
that masculineness of the face. Because, Rose's face is very for a Hugo Boss campaign. Okay. Very boom, boom, chip that. So there's a lot of construction going on there, which is why when they set up Nina West with her, I thought it was sabotage. Excuse me, Tina Burner. I keep doing that. I keep doing that. I don't even, no insult to Nina West. None, because I love me some Nina, okay? Except for that lip sync with Silky. That's still going to go down in history as, ooh, girl. And you had pride colors on too. Ooh, girl. Like, how dare you? Insult to injury. Like, the whole community felt that. No, Scrub. Anywho, why am I talking about Tina Burner? No. No.
Reverse.
We got to get to better runways. Okay, so Rose. Okay, Simone though. What did we think of Simone for the assignment of drag excellence that I kept repeating in my review? Drag excellence.
She knows the assignment. She always knows the assignment. It was stunning. Stellar.
Yeah. I love the color. I love the way she wore it. My only critique is that I felt like she needed like some jewelry or something to like accent like the neckline. She was showing her neck, and I was like, throw on a necklace or throw on a bracelet. Like she just needed something just a little extra.
The hair was already enough for me though.
Yeah.
I think it would have been too much with that and the stuff in the hair too.
And I love
this came out in the Baps garb. She would have been all right.
I love that the braids and then the jewelry in between. From far away, it looked like a Marcel wave. But then when you get up close, you realize that it's a braid with this jewelry in between. And I just thought that was so innovative.
It was beautiful. I enjoy a good cornrow with a little bit of a spackled, silvery, shimmery line of braid going down with the purple, because it looked blue at first, but then the lighting on the stage is what really does that. But it was purple. I love that the sleeves, when it's together, it looks like a bigger dress, and apart, it looks like this incredible silhouette. I love the drama that was presented with it.
It was drama.
Give me the moment. Make me feel like when you step onto the stage, no one can touch you. That your pussy is on fire. That is so used liberally on the show. Her pussy's on fire. Who? The alien? The alien was on fire. No, burn it.
Oh, you should have burned that bitch.
Burn the outfit.
That's what should have happened.
You know, but you gonna see again, it was everyone was doing what they were supposed to do when it came to a drag excellence. Whether Rose missed the assignment for all this heavy ass fabric because she wanted to pay homage to her roots, Gotmik with a bunch of dots and circles falling into holes, and oh my god, or Simone feeling her Cicely Tyson, because when RuPaul said it, RuPaul was exactly correct. Old Hollywood Cicely Tyson looked just like that with that short hair slicked back with a nice old gown. I said, yes, ma'am, for that. RuPaul, you better let us know how old you are. Thank you, bitch. Appreciate you, because some of these babies don't know. Now we get to goddamn Candy. And we've talked about this already, but again, when some people were coming at me like, Matt, you're being a hater. It's no, girl. She didn't have the dress for the assignment. It's not fair to judge her with the other three and say, oh, this is drag excellence. That's not fair. That's not right. Don't do that. Like, that takes away from Simone's work. Whoever gave her the dress, whoever fitted all the time behind the full togetherness of that. Gotmik, even Rose, you can't do that. You came up there in some 2-in-1 sheer, a bodysuit with a skirt that's a pull away, with a little almost Olivia purse. It was a good wig. Yes, your makeup was done. But I was like, yeah, I would have liked this for Sheer to have this conversation then. And for me to then address what your finale look would have been that we then saw on the trains look, because you didn't pack correctly.
And then she tried to do that reveal, but it was already see-through. And it was like, okay, so like, what? Like, I just didn't get it.
I was just like, why is she here? Like... She was escorted to this top 4. I'm just tired. I really am tired. But I guess they need a 4th body at the event, at the grand finale. Oh, by the way, shout out! You have 900 people in the room.
Oh, come on, 900. Listen, I've been trying to make sure I go through these comments here like that and operate this going on here. I see some of y'all's donations. I appreciate y'all, babies. Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you so much, Warren. Jacqueline, thank you so much. Lauren D, I appreciate y'all so much for being here, and thanks for tuning in and sticking through. We're talking about Drag Race today. I'm concerned for future seasons when it comes to the likability of queens being pushed forward versus the actual work and the effort going through, because a lot of these queens that went home early, some of them were likable and they still went home early. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? Wait, hold on here. I got to give this a highlight. It's an 8. The size is an 8. Okay, it's an 8. All right. So and it needs to be nice little shiny platinum band. Okay. Thanks, babe. Appreciate you. It's an 8. I got my ring size with my last ex, so you better believe now. If someone ever goes marry me, I'm like 8, boo. Get me an 8. And a 7.5 on a good day. So there you go. A nice band, a rose gold.
Can someone propose to me too? You know, I'm saying
now, Christopher. As many comments as I see it in here.
Oh, I'm using my government name.
Oh my, see.
See, Biggie one.
No, Chris. Chris is fine too. It's 5 letters.
Listen, I forget sometimes when I'm doing my own review, I'll say Matthew, and I'm like, okay, now you know you're Matty for these people. Now Matthew sits in this home, okay? Like, watch it. This is a good question. I like to give y'all opinion on this. Are the judges scared of Candy?
Scared? I don't think so.
Other drag queens are.
They're trying to tell you a story, like.
Wilma?
I think they're more afraid of her fan base.
They're well. Listen, I'm not scared.
You mean the blonde? No, never mind.
I'm not scared of them. So, T.
We had Jeffrey Boyer Chapman as one of the judges, our hosts, and he got a lot of negative comments on Twitter for being overtly judgy and critical of some of the queens. And then it was announced that he's not coming back. Now, they say that his official answer is because he's busy, but he signed a contract. He would have at least signed a 2 or 3 year contract, and they would have known if Drag Race was coming back. So I think that there has been a definite backlash on people who aren't the queens. Like RuPaul's getting a lot of backlash for being RuPaul. RuPaul's also like the fracking, all of this stuff. Like, people are speaking up against that, and I can imagine, like, what would Carson and Ross do if they weren't doing this show? And Michelle Visage, she's become a lot nicer this season than she has been in the past.
Ooh, what would Carson and Ross do if it wasn't for girl? What I that was the end of the sentence right there, Wilma. Like, bitch, what I say, I have been wanting a change up in that guest judge panel. Like, seriously, bring in Nicole.
Yeah. She was so great.
No, I think so. No shade. I think they should keep Ross.
I like
boot Carson. And then they should make T.S. Madison and why am I losing names? From Nailed It, Nicole Byer. Thank you. Yeah, I think they should become the rotating guests. Mm-hmm. One, it's nice to have the opinions of 2 Black women who are tapped into the culture. 2, so this was a Jeopardy question a couple weeks ago, but like the average age on the judges panel right now is like 53. And so it would be nice to have 2 people that can at least acknowledge and speak to what drag is now and what's happening, in the clubs and stuff.
The average
is 53.
Like,
wow.
I get we need to know where we came from, but there's also people who are in the trenches now that are a part of, say, my age group or dynamic that would have voices to lend on a stage for judging, period. Like T.S. Madison would be in my age group. You know what I'm saying? Nicole Byers in my age group. So you got them on there. Oh, that was so much fun. But now I'd like to see that continue on. Hey, Leslie Jones was fun. Leslie was crazy.
She was funny.
But she was fun. Like, it was fun. We had a good time. So it's like, I need that. Sometimes I get Ross in there deciding to go into full. So tell me, what's the problem? I'm looking at him like, if you and your shorts and your long sleeve shirts don't get the fuck out of here with this bullshit, I want to hear it from somebody else. RuPaul be sitting there. And then Michelle's now turning into mom. And it's like, oh, okay, I get that. And then Carson's the crazy uncle that has drank too much.
Yep.
Cool. But let's swap that out a little bit more often here. Just saying.
Leslie Jones, I would say no, maybe like a guess. I think she gets a little bit too involved, like she gets too passionate. Also,
when she was live tweeting all the episodes.
Yes. Unfortunately, I didn't watch Canada, but from the clips that I've seen of Jeffrey, it just seemed like his critiques were coming from more like a contrived place, like he was just being mean for the sake of mean. Like I think he still have like a good critique that even if it does come off mean, like it's helpful, you know?
It was the tone and it was the body language that everybody was talking about, because he would say it, roll a neck, and then look like, say something.
It came off cunty, and it was like, you don't really have a strong connection to the drag community aside from your appearances on Drag Race through Rue. So, like,
to give all of that.
Where is this
like,
cunty energy coming from? Like, what?
Like, say if it was Dominique Jackson from Pose, Miss Electra, that was on the panel, and she was doing all of that, that would make fucking sense, because Mother has bam, bam, bam already been there. You know what I mean?
I am ballroom.
Right. I am the bam, bam. Well,
I was on the fence with that because it got spicy.
Well, Law shouldn't have opened his mouth the way he did, because he was trying to validate his career when it didn't even need to be done in that moment. It was like, child, it really didn't. Like, let this legend speak. She's drunk, having her moment. We're good. Now, I'm surprised Maddie doesn't want Jamal on there every week. I want him in my house every week, baby, not on the judge's panel. I want him in my home, in my bed, asking me what this choreography
Don't
is
mess with my man.
Oh,
I'm gonna really give it to you.
Yeah, okay, come on. I'm just saying. I want the boom cat in my house, all right? I need you to move your hip this way. Okay, no, let me stop. Let me
swing my way.
You let me have my moment there, Chris. Look, I saw that man in the coffee shop one day, and I was like, oh, I don't want nothing to go. Okay, listen. All right, let me stop. Let me stop talking about things I'm not going to get today, okay? We got through the runway of what it was, 3 out of 4. Judges panel, of course. What we're gonna get? This whole season's been great. Lot. That's all we got. We got the pictures that were turned around. Dooley either had the phone call or something happened. We know when that takes place. We had moments that could be considered triggerable with Gotmik, but of course Gotmik handled it completely well. Candy's picture honestly was the most adorable thing on the planet. I will fight somebody over it. Candy as a little kid was adorbs. I was like, oh, I would have adopted this baby. I would have adopted it, and I've been like, God damn it, look what I'm just playing.
I hope you sounded like that at that age, because that would have been hilarious.
If the voice was still that way at that age, my God, I swear they should put Candy on television way earlier, child, because I can see that baby in a Gerber commercial. Yeah. Okay, peace. I can't. Rose, Rose is a really good public speaker. If Rose got out of drag and decided to just go into that, I think they'd have a career in it. But when we get into Simone, I'm really trying to get Dooley back over here so I can say shit here. There you go. When we get to Simone,
I'm sorry, it started raining. I had to close my window.
Oh, I wish it would rain over here.
It's storming. Lord. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, Houston needs some of that rain right now, just not the winter storm of it all. When we get to Simone, and Simone immediately starts crying when she starts to speak. Y'all saw me in my review. That was real. I still get emotional thinking about it. That conversation, it was for me. It was for a lot of people like me. It touched every nerve in my soul, in my body. It's a factor of when you get to a stage like that with RuPaul's Drag Race, where the thing that you literally in your entire community have almost lost your life for, be completely celebrated, and to be at that level, it is almost like this full moment of realization that, bitch, I was in the right place at the right time. I stayed alive. I did what I had to do, and no one stopped me. No matter if I was Black, gay, or feminine, no one stopped me. And so I relate to that with my Drag Race and my YouTube shows. I've had people comment about how the way I speak or me being too feminine, or even mention some of my panel hosts and say, I'd rather watch them than Matty because Matty acts like this, and I'd rather listen to them speak this and the other. Just trying to find ways to tear people down and stuff like that. And that happened a lot with a lot of stuff I did on my channel, all the way up to where I'm at now. It still happens to this day. So when I see that stuff, when I see someone like Simone in that position going, I didn't give up and I pushed through, I'm a boo-hoo. I'm a boo-hoo. I'm a cry, because I'm like, me too, bitch. Me too. We're gonna do this together. Fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm downstairs. But that's just
hey girl.
I'll pull a leg up. Don't do it now. See, my legs go up, Candy. Okay, so listen. Now let me stop. Let me stop.
Big yikes.
Not a
Big
eureka kick. These things go behind the legs. Okay, but it is what it is. It is what it is. People are weird. People are sometimes angry and they express their inner issues onto you. I have learned that through my time on this earth. I do not let people's words get to me that much because more than likely their mirror is dirty, their floor is fucked up, and that car doesn't start outside. So I don't know. I have nothing to give you. You got your own problems to work on. I do too. You know what I'm saying? So if anything, I pray for you in that mental health to come back to you, because you hating me is a disease, okay? And anybody hating on anybody else is that too, all right? So puss, listen, and that's how I felt. What y'all think of all this stuff? I'm done. No, they were shorts. They were shorts. Don't talk about some drawers. They were shorts.
I have to say, I hate this whole thing every time, holding up the picture. It's such a manipulation. Because what are you going to say? Toughen up. Try harder. Like, what are you going to say to your younger self? Do you know what I mean? I would say thank you because I'm here now because of whatever you went through. But short of that, who hasn't been? I find it's really, especially after that complete, like the whole judge's critique. Where was the critique? It was this syrupy love fest, which is lovely, but this isn't what the show is about. And then I just find
Kind of.
I would love for one person to just look at their picture and say, grow up or something, you know, like not emotional thing. Just because I just feel I get why they do it. And the first time they did it, it was really powerful. But now it's like, well, we're also living in a different age where people are growing up with different experiences. I mean, I think with RuPaul's age and the age of the producers, in those first few seasons, 10, 12 years ago, it was expected that everyone had a horrible experience. But now we're getting people like Rosé, whose family was completely supportive. So what
I don't know that life. I don't know. Yeah, I can't relate to that. It's like, oh, your family's fine. When I hear that, I feel like, oh, that's awesome. There's progression happening in the world. But I'm like, I cannot relate to that in one incident. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Listen, I'm cool with the whole you're making it, you're fine, and I love you. But I tell you, for being real, if my picture popped up and y'all saw me, I'd do a whole lot of cussing. Bitch, oh my God, it's gonna take you a good minute. It's gonna take you a long time to get there, sister. Shit, hurry up. But no, it's true. It's how do we look at ourselves from back then, and then now we're on this stage and we're supposed to give a whole speech in front of this lady who was fake crying over somebody just 30 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, RuPaul, like I said in my review, it was a soap dispenser with no soap. Just, I'm pushing it out. A lot of air, but I have not gotten one stitch of soap. And there are dry cries, but not when filler is involved. So there you go. So I don't know. I like those moments, but also, yes, here we go again each season. Hello, this is your picture. Yeah, by the way, you know, your parents had to have us blow it up on a Kinko's printer. What's up? Like, no.
I get the cynicism of that moment, you know, like not everybody has to do like the whole boo-hooing and crying. But with Simone's, I will say, like, you know, I didn't cry, but I definitely felt it because, you know, being a black gay boy in the South, it's hard. It really is. And growing up, like, it's a path. It really is, because you feel like, you know, your family out in your corner, your peers, like, it's hard. So I felt that.
You live in a lie for years. Years. I'm telling y'all, I had to sit there and pretend to be a whole nother person for over a decade. And I'm talking about at the dinner table. Who are you? I'm making up stories so I can make it to my room without getting beat up.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to make things happen so that way I'm not going to get attacked in the middle of the night, because I had my brothers being nasty to me, my father, and then I go to school and I'm getting made fun of. I didn't get a chance to go home and take a break. I didn't have those moments. I have to find those moments in video games, in television, and hanging out with my sister, or finding people at school who were like me that knew how to play the game, who were like, girl, we're going to roll up to Montrose today. We're going to take you to the neighborhood. We're going to show you what it's like and where you can find people like you and not get work. By the time I got to 16, I understood, oh, there's other places outside of this house where I can get the fuck around and do what I need to do. And then I was starting to build my plan to be free, not just to be, it's so hard to say this, but to be free. Like, you're with your family. No, I was with my family, but I wasn't free. I was expected to be somebody I wasn't. I was being constantly like, imagine when you are just holding out your hand real quick and your father just like slaps you across the face. He's like, stop bending your wrist. And it's like, what do they do? Like, what do they do?
I had that moment. My father didn't hit me, but all I had was my hand on my hip as I was stirring a pot. And my dad was like, take your hand off your hip. I was like, what did I do?
If I said anything sassy, I get backhanded like, girl, the moment that chair moved, I knew something was about to go down. Because when he at the dinner table, if that chair goes, it's like, you need to get up and run or take your pop. And that's just what was happening. And so, unfortunately, because my parents were raised deep South Alabama, you know what I'm saying? Their views are very into the book. It took a long time for my mom to come to even an understanding of me. My dad, it took even longer, but still, it's still like that in my family. They can't talk about certain things. My video recently with the shorts, the red shorts, I just had a conversation with a family member about that. Oh my God, did you have to do that? That doesn't make us all look good, right? It's a little too much for us. And I was like, it's a good thing I'm 34. It's a good thing I'm a grown-ass man. It's a good thing I don't pay your bills and you don't pay none of mine. It's a good thing I ain't going to your funeral. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So it takes time. And that's why when I listen to Simone's speech or I have anybody else, whether you're black, white, or whatever, and you have that moment of, this is what I just lived through, just trying to make it out the house. It's incredible because some of us don't make it out the house, babies. Some of us end up homeless. There was no home anymore. They had to go because their parents had given them the option. I was threatened many times to be thrown out, and I had to lie because I didn't want to be out in the streets at 14. I had to lie every time. Oh no. So when I hear those stories, that's a big deal, and it should be heard, and time should be given. Which is why I don't understand homophobia from people. I just don't get it. It's like, girl, you do know we don't want you. You do know that's the opposite of what it is, right? It's not that we just want to have sex with everything. I promise you. That's what the media gave you. That's what what's that show that used to come on Showtime? Queer as Folk gave you.
Queer as Folk.
That's what that gave you, damn Brian. That's what that did for you. Or was it Michael? It was Michael, right? Michael was the slut.
Never seen.
No, Brian was the slut.
Brian
Michael
was the
main
slut?
character.
Okay.
Justin was the one that you're talking about.
There we go. All right. So it's been a long time. That was when I had to sneak those episodes. I remember when my dad caught me one time. What are you watching? And turn off the TV and run. I promise I had no idea what was happening, but that's the truth in the relations for a lot of us in this community is that when we grew up, some of us didn't get that. Here you go. You're going to be fine. A lot of us got change. No, you're wrong. And when that gets beated into you, oh, honey, I don't know what to tell you, especially if you've ever been to church and they try to do a whole coming to Jesus moment with you. I've had that happen. Horrible.
So of course, I loved Simone's speech. It took me back to just my youth and me trying to figure my shit out and trying to figure out who's on my side to what allies I have and so on and so forth. But I also felt differently. I was like, okay, Jamel, what if you were on the stage and they were showing your baby pictures? What would happen? And I felt like my answer would have been very different. Would I have cried? Yes. But for me, it would have been tears of perseverance as opposed to tears of sadness. And so I felt my age watching that speech because it's very clear that folks like Candy, Mick, or et cetera, are young and they're still kind of understanding their trauma and understanding their triggers and understanding how those events, impact them today. But me, I go to therapy, I talk about my trauma, and I've actively invested in my mental health. Exactly, pain is a triumph. So I would have to tell myself if I was giving my speech on the stage, I'd be Jamil, when you were younger, it was tough, but now you're grown. Now you got your back. Look at everything that you've been through, and you are still here. And that's why you deserve to be, America's next drag. That would have been my speech. So I did feel very inspired and very touched by Simone's speech, and it made me kind of think about my own journey. But I also wondered, what if everybody on stage had support or everybody went to therapy and went through their trauma, like would it have been featured in the same way?
If everyone could afford therapy, goodness.
Right. It is expensive.
Because it is a privilege to be able to get therapy. It's a privilege. And when people try to throw it out like, girl, go see a therapist, I'm like, honey, that's a fee you pay an hour, okay? Just to go sit there with somebody and tell them your business that you have to trust them with, okay? All right? Like, trust and believe. It's hard for people to come to terms with themselves and say, I have a problem. This is my problem. Help me. Especially the help part. Help me. So that's sometimes people say they come here for therapy, and I feel you on that. But I also say if it gets deeper than that goes, baby, reach out. Don't get silent. Silence is the biggest killer. Reach out and speak to somebody. Talk to somebody. Whitney Houston.
Talkspace.com. BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com.
BetterHelp.com/roast for 10% off.
Squatty potty, for that matter. Use the bathroom correctly. That'll help you. Gain your whole attitude will change. Activia. See that y'all are gonna respond to me. Activia. You will.
BetterHelp is on one though. Like all these podcasts, BetterHelp is hitting us up. I don't know.
Okay. So let's get into the lip sync itself, which was decided by them performing individually, which I'm like, thank you, because that could have edited. The edit was great, in my opinion. I was like, okay, this edit was good.
I agree. I thought that was the best way to do it. I didn't want all four of them on stage. Like,
but we get to Gotmik. Okay. Assignment.
It was cute or whatever. It was cute or whatever.
It was emotional. It was downy. It was gorgeous. We get Rose. I was more impressed with because I saw Rose hitting them like when she hit the beat with that boom. I was like, oh, you know the song. Good for you. I felt the energy in there. Simone in that little handkerchief though was right on the money.
She embodied.
It was Whitney Houston church days, a little bit of, that stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? She was just a little bit of that stuff. It was award show season. Yes, I'm glad to see you, sister. It was very, very.
She executed it beautifully too. Like she looked like she was singing and sweating. It wasn't just going through the motions. I believe the whole thing.
And I love that when the queens do that extra bit of that shoulder pop a little bit or a little bit of a hunch forward, like give emotion. Now here comes Candy.
High kicks.
Like, what is happening?
Why is your face so distraught? What is like what I thought? What is it?
High kicking. I was like, Whitney, don't do none of this, girl. What is this? This is not a Little Kim video. Stop it, please.
It's not a dancing song. It's a powerful song. It's a different.
Sis is over here hitting the Wu-Tang.
Right.
I'm like, girl, what are you doing?
Even if we're in the bar and this song comes on with that beat, if the girls are dancing, we're literally singing it to ourselves. Like we're not just. It was such a.
The Candy smash.
You out here giving us the chicken head. It's 2004, bitch. I was like, honey, what are you doing? Like, what is this? I was so
confused. She had that moment after she took off that corset dress part. And
exactly, Logan.
She looked like she was, and she tried to do a eureka kick, and all in the same go. It's like, like
it didn't go. It didn't add up. Like that equation was nil. Girl, it's about to be a girl fight.
Just like
that was me, girl. They played that when I used to go in the club showing my ID, honey. We about to throw them balls. Yes, like it's definitely after hours spot lip syncing. Like she's booked because this is the last hour. It's a good friend of that friend. They're cooking nachos in the back. Go ahead and catch the show with them 5 seats up front in that one room, but everybody really outside because they don't see her.
You've been drinking that dark liquor. They just finished playing Nuck If You Buck. And you and that's how Candy came out. Like the Hennessy had been flowing and she read, I was like,
with that asymmetrical wig, with that bob. Yes. Come in the club, shaking my head, throw these photos.
Yes. Stilettos, pumps in the club. Like all of
Who
that.
ever thought that these folks could get crunk?
All of that. All of that.
It's a fool. I'm telling you. It's a fool. I'm telling you. Okay.
Bia,
I get-
why you acting like a
Bia.
That's how she came. Like,
Yes.
Forever,
Are we-
from Atlanta. Forever, I love.
Are we
Yes.
gonna fight? Like, what is the tea? Like,
I'm downloading that song right now. I totally forgot about it. Oh my goodness, dude, that's a good one. I
It
cannot.
was the act of a desperate queen in the final hour to just give everything, I think, and it wasn't all required. But I also wonder, I feel like if they had performed as a group together, how would Gotmik have stood up next to the others? Would she have felt the need to do more? Would Candy have done more? God bless her. Like, I like that they did it solo, but I think also it hurt them, like Candy, where I got to do something. I'm alone on stage. I got to do something.
RuPaul is a chaotic ass bitch. How we go from 7 bitches lip syncing on stage to girls going individually? Like, what?
She learned.
That made no. You sure right, Jamel, because you're gonna sit there and sabotage all them other babies, but this time you're like, no, separately.
But now you want to be peaceful, girl? What?
I want to give Ivan some love here for the Jabrat kicking sand in ladies' night
I
video.
know exactly what he's talking about.
Literally, that image just came to my head. God bless you, sir. God bless you. That
reminded me of What You Like. What You Like? A whole lot of.
What you like? Whole lot of.
Okay, Simone's lip syncs may be understated, but always captivating. She has a very old school spirit to how she performs. I live for it. I love an old spirit performance.
I have a question. So for the top 4 grand finales, so who are we going to pit who against in a lip sync? Because you know they go like 2, then 2, and then. So who would go up against who?
Well, it's based on who the producers want to win, is how that's going to work. So let's say if they put Rose versus Simone, just know how that setup would be. Just know if that happens, there's a setup involved. Because if Candy goes against Gotmik, they're going to give it to Gotmik. Yeah. They're going to give it to her. I'm just telling you.
You put Gotmik against Simone or Rose.
So that's when it would be, okay, what's happening here? So if Gotmik goes against anybody else but Candy, that's when I'm going to go, something's not right.
Are we underestimating Gotmik, though?
Rumors.
Right. Like, I think the other thing is, so usually, like, remember, there's a theme. So it was like, this finale, we gonna do Britney. This finale, we gonna do Jen. Like, we also don't know what music they're gonna give us for this. If Candy lip syncs against somebody and they give you another Fantasia track, you know it's some rigor mortis.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, imagine if Candy Muse and Gotmik went up against each other and they're like, all right, now playing Tamla Savage. It's a gospel number.
It's Tamla Man, bitch. Take me to the king.
Child, why I say Savage, girl? Because my sister's, one of her best friends' name is, see, look at me. I'm speaking about, I just got the phone with my sister from Alabama, and it's so funny. I'm done speaking about a friend. See, Tamla Man, the Brown, bitch. There you go. Mr. Brown gonna be up there too with all his clothes and stuff. Girl, it's a Tyler Perry production. That's what Drag Race has turned into.
Oh my God.
No, that's Tyler
Fulani,
Perry.
I know, bitch. I spoke too quick, girl. Calm down.
At least the wigs are better.
But do you think that they would have Simone and Rose as the final lip sync? Do you think that is what they're gearing for, so that they will have them both lip sync separately? Or do you think that they would put Simone and Rose together first and then another double over there? Like,
I say first. I think they're going to do that to Simone and Rose. I don't think they're going to let them do the second round. In my world, I would like that to be the final lip sync, Simone versus Rose, in my opinion. But
because it's a fair fight.
And it's 2 different lip syncs too. So Simone would be emoting the hell out of it, and Rose is a performer. So she can still emote too. So it's like 2 different sort of presentations versus over here, and nothing against Gotmik, but I saw the rumors. I saw it. I saw the stiffness. Nope. And then Candy, I've had enough. I've had absolutely enough. Enough.
Wait for her finale look, I guess, because Lord, I want to know what we're gonna see for her finale dress or finale look.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it may be a gown this time. It just might be. Candy Fuse.
So I'm finna pull a C Diggy one. I'm finna choose violence right now in this moment.
Oh, my neck.
I would venture to say that lip sync for the crown is probably one of the worst decisions that they've ever made for Drag Race as a franchise. And I feel that way because it undermines a lot of the, rigmarole or process of the competition itself. And then, like, if you're rating girls on charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, and so then you get to the final, not all of the girls are gonna have the same set of skills. No. So unless you finna force through 4 lip sync queens, you're always gonna have to use shenanigans and gags to make good on a solid finale. So I think they should go back to the way that it was, around season 5, where you can do a great finale and give them the crown like at the event, and that should also be your reunion. But like the final episode and the crowning should happen on set.
Because it kind of takes away from the whole scoreboard and the entire process of you winning a challenge. And I'm this place and position in the competition. Ask Shea Coulee. Ask her the first time around.
Then it's drama, it's story, it's chaos, but like, did we need it?
It didn't reward the person that worked the hardest. So, to me, I think they're going to do East Coast versus West Coast because both Gotmik and Simone represent LA, and both Candy and Rose represent New York. So we'll have the 2 New Yorkers go against each other, the 2 LA queens. That way, it'll still be East versus West. That probably will be how that goes.
Okay.
More than likely. That would be how I would do it. If I was in the
All I know is Simone better get that crown. She better get it.
I don't think she is C Diggy.
I don't care if it's predictable. I don't care if she's allegedly the only black member of her house. I don't care if it's a good idea for her to be at All Stars. I don't care if people have a problem with having 3 black queens win in a row. She deserves the fucking crown, okay? I'm going to be very angry. Very angry.
I don't think they're going to do it, C Diggy one.
Can you imagine Chris raising his voice? Oh my goodness. What
I know, right? I get a little excited.
It's like a Sierra tone, girl, just 1 octave higher, right?
I think they're gonna. I genuinely think they are gonna give it to either Rose because of her performance in the later half of the competition, or Gotmik because we've just fallen in love with them. And like it's too lucrative for them to not put Simone on an All Stars with some other great competitor. I think it might be Gigi,
or with Gigi.
It could be anybody that whatever. But like,
Matty, if you hear a scream in Texas that night, that's me. You're gonna hear me from Manhattan. I'm just saying,
it's gonna be some chaos. Like World of Wonder and RuPaul they're gonna choose the most chaotic, ridiculous, like.
I dare them.
Not I dare.
It's like if you watch The Masked Singer
about this.
It's like if you watch this season of The Masked Singer, everything is for the first time this season on The Masked Singer, the first time ever. Oh, this season is huge. It's like, girl, can you just take off the mask?
Like Nick Cannon's hosting. Nothing about this is huge. Wilma, what's your prediction for who's going to win this after 2 weeks of us waiting for this result?
Well, I'm with you. If Simone doesn't win, I may flip a table. I did have a minute. I was talking to somebody last week, and they brought up the fact that Jada Essence Hall won last year. Would they have another person of color win? And I'm like, well, they've had lots of white people win in a row, and nobody's said anything. Why can't the best one win? Who cares who's the best? Simone's been the best. She's had a couple of stumbles, but that just proves that she's human. It doesn't there's a quality of some people, and I feel this is Rose, where it's almost robotic. I'm not getting the person, I'm getting the performer. But if if for some crazy she got tackled on the way to the theater reason that Simone doesn't win, I would see Gotmik win.
Oh man.
Not because they're trans, but because she killed it. She is another one that killed. She won Snatch Game. Most people that have won Drag Race have won Snatch Game. So I don't have a problem with Rosé winning. I don't, but I don't think she's done as much as Simone and Gotmik. And Candy, as much as I find her fun and I don't have a problem with her, I think she's the more lucrative choice to put on All Stars because then she got something to prove.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think more people will tune in for that.
Mm-hmm.
And put
If
Van
Simone
in the same season. That would be fun. I'd rather have that.
If Simone wins this season, she will become the lowest, like statistically the worst winner. So right now it's Evie Oddly, and then Trisha Martell.
It's based on the positions that they were in through the competition.
Right. So like top placement, bottom placement, lip sync, etc.
But she's won 4 challenges.
But she's been in the bottom twice.
She's been in the bottom twice.
So that's a -2 from that +4,
Right.
giving it a 2, and the rest of it's been sort of like a safe run. So then
was in the bottom.
But Rosé's never been in the bottom, and so technically her ratio is still a +1 over her, as well as Gotmik too. So that's just when you do the math in terms of
math.
Safe is a 0, low is like a 1, bottom 2 is a -2, winning is like a +2, high is a +1. So when you start to add stuff up, if you go off the math of it, it's Gotmik or it's Rosé, but in reality, it's really probably going to be Gotmik. Just based off of what they could do with it. But likability, like the popular vote, Simone. You see how this conversation's happening about 3 people and not 4 people.
Right.
Okay. That's all I wanted to make sure we understood. Like,
I just want to make 2 quick points. Just 2 quick points. So with Gotmik or whatever, like I thought that the crown was hers to win, but just after this particular episode, I was like, there's just no way. Like Simone knocked it out of the park this episode. Like, if it was before that episode, I was thinking, okay, I can see Gotmik win it and I don't have a problem with it. But this particular episode, Simone really shined. That's all.
Let's have the graceful disposition that I think this franchise needs. There has to be Candy's too much of a wild card, and I think the fan base over the last few years has shown there's enough wild cards out there. But I feel like to represent the franchise, I think Gotmik and Rosé would do well, but I think Simone would kill it. She's lovely. She's well spoken. She is considerate, and she brings it to the table.
And her looks are fresh. Everything is fresh. It's
and even if she's having other people make that stuff, she's not just showing up and picking it up. She's in the conversation.
And it's not just camp either. Like the looks have camp aspects to it, but it's also like ready to wear stuff. It's very fashion. It's very like the girls who you see now, the younger babies who like to be more so involved in fashion, as RuPaul like to say, and she's so enamored by. Simone's giving that category, but also Gotmik is right there too. See, that's where it's the things that RuPaul like. Gotmik,
you don't
Simone
know what you're gonna choose.
But then Rosé's professionalism, that's something RuPaul likes. But then Candy's spit in her face is also something that RuPaul likes too. I just don't see how a bowl of water is going to win against these 3 babies. So I don't know how that's going to work. But if it does, throw a fish in there and call it a gold. I don't know. But
the criteria this season has been so all over the place that it has not been blatantly obvious to me what they value in a contestant, because it's been inconsistent, right? So it's is it the runway? Because you have a finalist that hasn't done that great on the runway. Is it lip sync? What is it? What criteria are you using to rate these things? Yeah. And that's why it's a big question mark, which is why we're having this conversation.
No, ain't no way she ain't spitting in nobody's face. Y'all can hear the spit coming out of her mouth. Come on now.
You don't want a double crowning? Someone just mentioned that.
Yeah. What about a tie? What would have happened if we got a tie? We've already had it before,
Well, that first tie, don't even get me started. and I like Monet, but don't get me started on that. I don't want to choose violence right now.
You can, because I'll say Monet won that, sister. Because if it was based off of a lip sync, Monet beat Trinity. Monet beat Trinity. Down.
She did.
Down.
You want me to choose violence?
She removed that little flip and bang wig, and it was a wrap.
We want you to choose accuracy. That's what we want you to choose.
Did you think that Trinity won?
I think Trinity won.
I think Trinity should have won this season. If we're going through the entire, I mean, honestly, I wanted Manila to win. Manila was like should have won.
We all did.
But I'm with you. I
thought in a row. That's why.
But I'm with you. I felt that Trinity edged Monet out a little. But the thing that bothers me the most about that tie is whenever I hear people talk about it, Trinity's almost never brought up. It's all Monet. And that's great. She did win as well as. And I just feel like if they're going to have a tie, then have the tie. But
like an actual tie, not a split screen.
Yeah.
They literally shot two different winners and was like, "We'll just paste this set." Y'all, they should have done it with them both on the stage together. That would have made way more sense. Now, I will say Monique Hart was kind of duped that season. Monique did so good. Now, that first wig went up, and it was like, if you up, then it's stuck in the rafters right up there. I wish that was the song she was lip syncing to when that happened. That would have made more sense. But, you know, I thought Monique did a damn good job. But then again, it's not the last we'll see of her, so I'm going to be quiet. But there you go. There you go. Not the last we'll see of her. There you go. See what happens?
I have to say that I was so impressed with Monet in All Stars, especially after the critique she got in her season.
Yeah.
Like that's where somebody proves they're an also. Like
I kind of thought those critiques were raggedy though. Like season 10, I was like, what?
Oh,
like
season
what's wrong
10.
with the cat wig? What's wrong with
the sponge dress was like some of her sewing was but like when she should have been praised, they still shit on her. So like the makeover challenge, I was like, y'all want them to look like twins, but not only are they different races and ethnicities, but they have different things going on. Like what? And then
Patty and Monet will never look like
what?
Paper mache.
Like the way that they were using Cameron in the story in the season, I was like, what are y'all doing? Like
Cameron
what? Like, it was
Cameron
so confusing.
Ever. They would not send Cameron home. They just
like she beat Eureka in that double save. Like that's when like that was legit. But then like I thought Monet embodied Lizzo more, and so then she should have been. I was very confused. Very confused.
When Monet brought that one leg up and held it for, it's like, oh, she just won.
It's like boom.
That was amazing. Yeah.
It was like, okay, y'all, she knows the song. We're getting a true performer. What am I missing? I'm missing something here. I don't know.
She was missing a lateral split, apparently.
That's what is needed, I guess. I didn't know we were tracing things on the trying to get our radiuses and circumferences together, Dooley. I didn't know we were a protractor. A protractor. Cameron Michaels was a protractor the entire season, y'all, and made her way to the top 4. And somehow we got a 3-way lip sync. Somehow.
She lip synced against Cracker, gave us a whole Tybo ab workout, and it was like, Shantae, you stay. And we was like,
But Cracker couldn't do that full split, sister, when she poor Cracker looked so lazy that lip sync. It was like, girls, your padding fucking you up because I'm trying to see.
She was probably over it. I would have been over it too.
I couldn't handle it. Yeah. So season 13, y'all, listen, we got 2 more weeks. We got 2 more weeks. A reunion next week via Zoom. They're going to do a live finale, but there won't be people in the audience like that. So don't expect it to be some grand poobah of an event. It'll just probably be some random folks that either work there or the queens who are already there that prove they got their vaccination that can be in the audience. Gigi mentioned she made Simone's wig, the cornrows with the
She made a lot of
she made a lot of those wigs.
Yeah. Gigi can come to the barbecue. She can come to the barbecue. Girl, she made some hair like that. Oh yeah, bitch. She can go to the
after 2020, we don't have no more invitations left. I'm sorry, Gigi.
We're not actually holding barbecues anymore because we're not supposed to be in each other's faces anyways, girl. So you may be invited to the Zoom call. No, but there you go. I just want this to be over, not because I'm bored of the show, but because this has gone on for X amount of time. It's just like, all right, get us there. Get us there. Nobody else needs to be here. You got somebody already up here who get us there. That's all I'm asking.
Pick a bitch, crown a bitch, so we can start something else, girl.
Because I'm ready for All Stars. I'm ready for this UK season 3. Now that was confirmed to possibly be coming out this year. This year, C Diggy. I forget who told me recently. They're like, girl, they're already like going through the process. It may come out by the end of the year, so that way it goes into 2022.
Season 2 was supposed to air October, November, but they couldn't. So that's why we're getting them both in 1 year.
That's why you also see season 4 was confirmed because they're already into season 3.
Yeah.
And then of course we have. I'm fine with Wilma. I'm fine with it. Are you? I'm good to go.
I'll watch it if they put it on, but I just wish that they, like, if you're going to have a competition, send a queen home. Don't have a tie. These, like, there are moments. I think that the Alyssa and Tatiana tie was completely warranted.
Oh yes.
But there are moments for sure where it's like, come on, somebody was better.
Right.
Somebody was better.
Like Abby OMG in Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still pressed about that, everybody. I still can't believe that went that far. And she's a sweetheart, but girl, a bone straight wig does not make it the queen. Listen, there's España. There's a whole bunch of other, girl, there's a lot of stuff coming up with Drag Race. RuPaul, I will say congratulations for you making something that could be taken like this, like how they did with America's Next Top Model, and just buy it, sell it, make it, move it. Hopefully World of Wonder gets a bigger studio. Something. But they're giving away so much money, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, and Dragula season 4 is going to be on Shudder, and they're getting their $100,000 finally.
Drag Race has to, like, you absolutely have to up the prize money.
I was just about to say that it needs to be
It
needs to be $250,000 now.
You have to.
And if it's going to be $250,000, bring the best.
They make too much money off this show now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's on VH1, it's being streamed everywhere. It's the GIFs and memes are so popular. I'm seeing people who don't even know what the show is use the stuff at the time in their speech. I had this baby send me a text the other day, and I was like, girl, you don't watch the show? Oh, I thought that was a lady. It's not. Just keep it going from there. So y'all stay tuned. Remember, we're not done. This is just 2021. Imagine where this goes. And hey, maybe one day you see Wilma on the judges panel or competing. If she's to look at Wilma,
I'm too old.
Well, they can still get you on as a guest judge, sister. They can still.
I'll judge, but I couldn't compete.
They got to bring some of us there.
I am not one of those queens who thinks, oh, I need to perform against anybody. No. I'll sit there and judge you.
Well, give me another year and a half. I'm one of those queens that can beat the whole. Okay, so I'll be there. I'll be there, and I'll get top 5. I'm claiming it now, everybody. I'll claim it. If they don't put me in the top 4, I will walk away gracefully at 5. I will walk, not 7, not 8, not 9, not Soju. Okay, 5.
Who?
Right?
Who?
Right. Oh, what? Oh, okay.
Who?
Race. No.
Race.
Okay. Now, honestly, I put a bunch of pictures up because really I just wanted to talk about Drag Race for this majority of time. That actually kind of worked out for me here. So I'm going to sort of close this into a little 10-minute frame. There were music videos that did come out. Gwen Stefani is trying again to show that she is the best vampire of them all. Her and Pharrell have exchanged blood, apparently, so they'll never die. But she came out with a song with Saweetie, or Sour Tea for the girls like
Sour Tea.
It's called Clap, 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 Clap. It's called, yeah, Chris, I'm a dragger. So
no, I don't care. I mean, someone put the Old Navy commercial.
It was an Old Navy commercial, exactly.
It was. Or
so okay, story. So earlier, it was last year. Jordan Sparks released a song, and it was giving very much Old Navy commercial. So somebody was shady and put the Old Navy music to the music video, and it fit right there. So they did the same thing with Gwen.
Wow.
I thought that was a real commercial for it.
It looks like it.
I'm so glad you tweeted.
On all shorts, like you had that in the background.
I love Gwen, but there's a point where she was changing up her music, and this is like, why are you still stuck in this? Please change, please.
It was really juvenile. I'm like, girl, you are 50. You know, like I'm in a high school gym, like talking about clap, 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 clap. And Sweetie, I'm about to see with T, like Sweetie is with those nursery rhyme rap.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
terrible. It was hot garbage. I witnessed Gwen Stefani walk around a room with all of her ethnicity, you know, throwing around that, you know, chompy dyed wig. I cannot stand it. I was like, girl, I was here for Love Angel music, baby. I even gave the Sweet Escape some time. I was a no doubt person. I was always about no doubt. Always.
Were we talking about Gwen Stefani on
yes.
Speaker?
Yeah. I'm a fan, but this isn't it. And you can get Saweetie or whoever you want to go on there, girl, but it ain't gonna make it hip. It's still gonna be a broken hip. Go to the doctor, see someone, get back into therapy, physical therapy, because them hips weren't moving either, sister. Speaking of hips, SZA and Doja Cat released another song. It was like a double on a Friday for women in music. I was like, okay, work. And they released this song, Kiss Me More, which sounds an awful lot like Say So, but a different version of it, in my opinion. I think the video was very inspired by Steven Universe, for those who watch the cartoon for giant women. And it also had a Asian male actor as the main focus of the heartthrob in this. And he wasn't utilized in a gimmicky way, which a lot of people were extremely happy about. Have we heard the song? Did we see it? What did you think?
I heard it. And
it was okay.
They were both cute, and that's all I got. It was cute.
I love this song and thought it was amazing. They won't take this moment away from me. Kiss me more. All right. It's in my playlist, already top 10 for the month. Thanks. All right. Now I put it on repeat. I do with a lot of songs. I get the streams up.
California, right, with the top down, or
it's very convertible. It's convertible music, and I love convertible music. Make me feel like I'm rich and have like money to spare. And if I get in an accident, I wouldn't care. Like very that. Like my insurance will handle this. I want to have that kind of feel. Like very, very her privilege. It felt good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Them is on Amazon Prime for those of you who I see bringing it up. I haven't watched it yet because I've been told it's very traumatic and very almost like it's doing it on purpose to make us all feel uncomfortable sort of bit. Like there's not a moment to take a breath. It's very aggressive in its approach to the racism that's happening there. It is inspired by, of course, events that happened in the 50s and 60s with racism in America, and we can get references to Get Out because that's what it sort of feels like. But a lot of people are not happy with it because it just feels like it's this glorifying of these moments. Go ahead, Chris.
I will say people are really like roasting Lena Waithe, and all she did was executive produce it. Like she did not create it. She did not write it. So I think they're getting mad at the wrong person. I think they're still they're still mad at her because of Queen and Slim, and I agree with you. Queen and Slim was some.
I like Queen and Slim.
Oh, I hated it. It's trauma porn.
So I like Queen and Slim.
I didn't like it. It was a pretty movie.
She's an executive producer, and like that's cool. Like I get what you're saying, Chris. Like I get that, but like there's no way that she signed off on this shit and presented this and reviewed this with other black people. But had one black person been in the room, they would have been like, sis, this is not it. Like it's like she got real high after watching Us and Lovecraft Country and was like, ooh, I'm finna do this. And then this is what we got. Like that's what she was trying to do, but that's not what we got. And so we just got this triggering mess of just like race-related chaos trauma porn. Like, what are you doing, honey?
Like the difference between Lovecraft Country and that, like, give us, a black horror film, give us black sci-fi, but not everything has to be like, race trauma related into that.
Had there been, I swear, like, had there been one other black friend that could have reviewed the concept of the show or the script, Somebody would have been like, "Hey, girl, that's not it, honey."
I think the issue is with the storytelling part of the show is the problem, because we as viewers, while this is traumatic and we've already faced this through so many movies and television shows, okay, so what's the story? Oh, there is none. Okay,
None.
like that's what I got from my little clips that I saw. And someone the other day posted this moment where she yelled at the lady N-word, and she just turns around and slaps her, and then the music plays. It was James Brown. And I was like, that's it. There's no more context to that moment. Like, this lady literally called her out of her name, and she turns around, slaps her, takes her baby. That's right, mama. No, all of that was for a Facebook watch video that was 5 minutes from some actors who wanted you to click on their page to get 1 million views. Not an actual storyline moment. I needed a little bit more than that. So for me, am I going to watch it? I am as a reviewer, but I'm also, well, I have to kind of sort of watch it because I said I was going to look through it. I don't know. I don't know.
One little spoiler alert, just tiny spoiler alert that you're going to need, because episode 5.
Someone told me about a baby part. They said you're not going to like Matthew. And I was like,
right. It has to do with, the R word to the mom. And they got rid of, that's what I'm just saying. It was graphic. And I'm not tuning in for that.
Oh, okay.
Like, why is that there?
That's what
makes me so mad. Like,
I don't know.
Is also a Taurus, and I'll be giving her side out. Like, sis, you can't be a part of our sign.
The show is called Them. It's on Amazon Prime for your own self-care. Yeah, you might need not to, but if you into that kind of stuff, go for it. Connect 4. Yeah, because there are parts where if I see something that's going to be too much, I would be evil, and y'all know how I am. I would make a whole video about that episode. Like, how dare they? Other than that, y'all, honestly, what else? I don't know anything else that's been going on in the world outside of we lost DMX recently. It got gross because you know how people try to post someone's like being that died, but they don't know. It's like, rush, it's me first. They were already claiming he was dead and he was still on life support. None of the family had posted about it. It was all over Twitter. It was horribly disgusting. And then unfortunately the next day he passes away. But it's like, girl, imagine being in the hospital fighting for your life and they're already talking about your death on social media.
Well, it's a money grab for clicks because the media, they want the publication wants to be the first to announce it. So it's like a race. So who can call it first?
I feel like that's unethical though. Like, as a family member, I should probably know before anybody else. Like,
in the United States.
Well, correct. Right.
That's the United States of America.
Capitalism.
Unethical.
Right.
That's all we do is go places and tell them it's ours. Okay.
Like, imagine you found out your nephew died on the Shade Room. Like, I would be so mad.
The Shade Room, of all places.
Right. Media takeout.
TMZ does this a lot. No, TMZ I've stopped paying attention to because they do a lot of sensationalism with their titles, but then the article is nowhere near what that was. And they choose specific stories that are very heavy in race and heavy in misogyny a lot to throw to the forefront and having people comment on them. And honestly, do yourself a favor. Never go through the comment section of anything TMZ posts. Just don't do it. You don't want to read what people have to say. I promise you, this one lady with 30 friends is going to say something horrible, girl, and you will never be able to get over it. 30 friends. You'll be like, she's no one, but damn, what? She's voting, sister. Right. She's voting. Okay. Be concerned. Be concerned what that household is like. So yeah, for me, I can't do a lot of that extra stuff there. That's why I stay away from sometimes my own comment section because somebody's trying to get to me. And I'm like, girl, I don't need whatever you got going on, honey. There's a tissue for that. Okay, not me. I have a ganja sitting right over there. I'm gonna roll my blunt and be fine, sister. You'll be just okay. Moving along. But yeah, I wanted to keep this very drag race, and we did just that. It's past the 2-hour marker here, so I'm already done with this speech. Wilma, I really appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. I just am so thrilled to be part of it again. And I mean, I'm a fan to begin with, but to be accepted into this family of reviewers is just it's the best part of my life right now.
Oh, Wilma. Well, I'm more than happy to have you here. You know, I've been a big fan of yours as well. And again, just to relay back even to the conversation that we had, these are moments that are important to discuss. And I know for some people it may have been a little bit hard to hear, or yes, I agree, or no, I don't. And that's what a conversation is, and that's what a discussion is about, whether we agree or disagree. And I respect everybody who was able to listen to what Wilma had to say, what I had to say, what Dooley had to say, what C Dig has to say, and any of those moments here. So I want us to take that and go with it here. You know, I can't speak for my friend right now and how he feels. I can't speak for C Dig and I can't speak for Wilma, but I can speak for myself. I was glad that at least a conversation was held and that we were able to talk about it regardless of how we felt in that moment. But then again, this is also us talking about Drag Race, a bunch of our TV shows, a bunch of movies and music and pop culture and everything else like that. So let's go ahead and wrap this up and continue on with this here. I'm going to go ahead and start with my social medias. Matty Rants on both Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Cameo, and on Twitter at the Matty Rants. And y'all know where to donate to the channel. Please and thank you at Cash App $MattyRants, Venmo MattyRants, and PayPal.me/MattyRants. C Diggy, where can we find you on your social medias, baby?
You are so good at that.
I do it so much now. It's
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram. I have my own YouTube channel, CDIGGI1. I go through pop culture, all things Bravo and Housewives. I'm also on Alexander Rogers' channel with Pop Roast. You can watch me there, or you can hear us on our podcast on Apple or Spotify.
Thank you, Chris. And Vita, I did. I don't know if you were here for that, but I did. Dooley, can I get your social medias, please?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at _DooleyNoted_. On Instagram, I am Dooley Noted with 2 underscores, like my name there, for personal. And then for business is DooleyDoesFood, which is also the name of my YouTube channel. New video out this week. Keep liking, sharing, and subscribing.
Thanks, Dooley. And Wilma Fingerdoo with the Wilma Fingerdoo review. Where can we find you, baby?
Apparently on Twitter, I'm W Fingerdoo. On Instagram, the Wilma Fingerdoo, and on YouTube, the Wilma Fingerdoo review.
Fabulous. Shout out to Karen and Venmo. Shout out to Allison as well. We appreciate y'all so much for being here and listening to the panel this weekend. Join us next week. We'll have a special guest. I won't announce who it is first. It may either be Jake Yonsei or it'll be Alexander Rogers. It's either going to be either one of them. So either way, Shade will be involved and in light-speed capacity. So I appreciate y'all once again for being here. Don't forget to puss when you walk up into a room. Listen when a conversation is let me do this one more time.
Happening.
There it is. I had a whole moment, Dooley. I got it. Don't forget to puss when you walk into the room. Listen when it's happening. And just be yourselves, and love comes first. All right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you next time on The Panel.
Listen.